1, 2, 3, 3. Wow. Time goes by fast. Like the frog said on a lily pad, time's fun when you're having flies. Oh, come on. How come I can't see the default? There we go. All right. Got to make sure you can be seen. Glenn Hathaway, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Or good afternoon or good morning, whatever the case may be, wherever you're at. This is the Man Cave Live. Tonight, I think I'm going to step away from something because my daughter gave me a link to a recording that she had made. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to watch my daughter's video, and I'm going to turn my mic down and let y'all listen to this and see what you think. It's about my family. Some people have heard this and some people have not. So I'm going to turn my mic off and my camera off, and I'm going to play this and let y'all just enjoy, and I'll watch the comments as they come up.
So this is a bit of a unconventional video today. What you are seeing on the screen right now is a magazine article from the 1960s, and this article is about a murder that happened in my family. And this wasn't like a conventional murder. It was a murder of a little girl that was a missing persons case during the month of January 1966. I'm going to read this article to you guys, and while I'm reading it, obviously pictures of the article. It's a 6-page article in a magazine called The Front Page Detective, and this article is like the first article listed on the cover of the page. You'll see the cover of the magazine when it shows up. I actually found this online from a company called DTA Collectibles, and they gave it to me for a half-off discount. They have a lot of like vintage comic books and magazines, movie posters and stuff. If you want to go check them out, go right on ahead. This article is very personal to me, as it's about my grandmother and her daughter and the huge mess that occurred through that. So yeah. I actually cried the first time I read this article, just to let you guys know, because I heard about this story like ever since I was a little girl. Like when I was an infant, I heard about this story, and it's why my grandmother was so protective of me and everything. And it's just all sorts of messed up. So I'm going to start reading this. If I mess up, I'm not going to stop recording and re-record because this is a long article. If you guys would like something similar to this, or me to read other true crime articles that are in the story, or if anything like on the cover, when you see the cover, looks interesting to you, let me know and I'll read that article too, even though it's not personal to me. But I'm going to start reading this. Mary Jane Bolton was 2.5 years old. With a head of blonde, wispy hair, blue eyes, which she was too shy to fasten on a stranger for long, and a great fondness for dolls. She often was seen in the backyard of her home playing with her 4 dolls. It was a small detail, perhaps, but somehow it was the child with her dolls that John Bolton recalled most vividly that morning of January 1st, 1966, as he described over and over in a choked and anguished voice to police officers, sympathetic neighbors, and newspaper reporters what had happened. At 9:15 a.m., he said, he had dressed Mary Jane and turned her out in the backyard to play. Her dolls were in a carriage covered with a pink baby blanket, and a few minutes later, when he left the house to go across the street to have coffee at the house of a good friend of his, He stopped to ask Mary Jane if she would like to come with him. She wanted to stay to play with her dolls, Bolton said brokenly. At 10:45 a.m., Bolton came back from the neighbors and saw his son playing in the backyard by himself. I thought the little girl was inside, he explained. And his wife, who had noticed the boy playing alone, the boy being my dad, had assumed Mary Jane had gone with Bolton to the friend's house. Once it was established that the little girl was not with either John Bolton or his wife, my dad's name is also John Bolton. He was named after his father. Ardella, my grandmother. The two of them had begun a search, they told police. The Bolton house was a modest affair on a road called Town Way in Marshfield, Massachusetts. The house is built at the front of the lot, leaving a large backyard, which is bounded by hedges on three sides, and at the rear and sides there are undeveloped tracts of low flat land covered with underbrush. There are houses down the road in both directions. Like many of the neighboring places, these are summer cottages, and in the winter they are boarded up. The Boltons walked around
Hey,
the
James.
neighborhood, calling Mary Jane's name and asking some of
This is a story about my family, some things that happened back in 1966. Well, at 64 actually, and this story was printed in 66. Just something I thought that I needed to do, and it's quite a tough story for me. Yeah, it's hard to explain everything, but yeah. But you can continue watching, and you'll see what I'm talking as the story progresses.
the children outside if they had seen her. According to Bolton, about 15 minutes went by before they realized that they had every reason to be alarmed and decided to get some help in the search. John got his friend who lived across the street and a few other neighbors to help, all of them aware that the child was much too young to have wandered off by herself. She was too young to have made friends with neighborhood kids, and she was so shy that neither parent could imagine her deciding on an excursion by herself. As Bolton later recalled, the realization that there was no good way of explaining her disappearance was the reason that he decided not to waste any time before calling the police. He went back to the house and put in a call to the Marshfield Police Headquarters. These were the bare details that John Bolton was destined to tell and retell many times in the next few hours. The first police officer to hear them was Patrolman Harry Ryan, who responded in a radio patrol car. Ryan wanted to know what the child was wearing, and Bolton told about the white shoes with straps, the black corduroy slacks, and the white hooded sweatshirt. It's not like her to wander off by herself, Bolton emphasized. A child wandering off by itself has a special meaning to people who live in Marshfield, because this is a seaside town, and the beach at Wrexham was only half a mile from the Boltons' front door. There are other danger points as well. Route 139, a heavily traveled highway, is only 175 yards across the brush-covered flats at the back of the house. In addition, there is a river less than a half a mile away. Even before Ryan arrived at the scene, a number of Bolton's neighbors had followed the road down to the beach and looked around the beach area. As nearly as Bolton could figure it out, Mary Jane had disappeared in the half an hour between the time he went across the street for a cup of coffee and the time his son was sent out to play with her. At this point, she had been missing a little more than an hour. Although she could have had time to wander off to the beach, the river, or the highway, he explained to Ryan that neither he nor his wife could bring themselves to believe she would go that far by herself. In response to Ryan's questioning that he didn't know anyone of the neighborhood, child or adult friend, who would take the child anywhere without letting them know. I'd get as many people in the neighborhood as you can to help you, Ryan advised. A few minutes later, Patrolman Daniel Welch arrived on the scene, and after talking things over with Ryan, called the fire department and asked them to call out all the spare men they could. Then he got in touch with Marshfield Police Chief Frank M. Sinnott and told him about the situation. Sinnott said that he could come as soon as he could, and to keep him posted on all developments. Sinnott took a serious view of the situation. He knew that in a search of this kind, it was important to act quickly. The crucial part of the search is at the outset. He called the superintendent of highways and asked for all manual help he could get. This was in accordance with previously laid plans to handle emergencies that might occur in the area. At 12:30, Sinnott himself arrived at the scene to take charge. There were about 50 volunteer searchers from the neighborhood by this time. The first firemen had begun to arrive. Sinnott knew that the surrounding area like the back of his hand. Most of the countryside was flat and open, much of it marshland that was dry now because of the drought, but like the area in the back of Bolton's house, covered with
Just
dead marsh
watch and be
grass.
quiet, Jan Michael
An adult
Vincent.
walking through dead marsh grass spreads it apart, leaving a trail that's
It's
easy to
actually very
spot as
important.
tracks through wet snow. But Sinnott wasn't at all sure a 2.5-year-old would leave much of a trail. As possible, he knew that she would thread her way between tall tufts. But if she were in the center of any of those plots, she would be invisible from any distance. He directed a party of searchers to search the tracts of land near the house, working their way back toward Route 139. Another party headed for Wrexham Beach to search the shoreline. Then Sinnott called the state police barracks at Norwell and asked them for the use of a bloodhound. Knowledge of Mary Jane's disappearance was 4 hours old at that point. Their mother and stepfather were taking it hard. The house was crowded with neighbors and police officials, so Sinnott took John and Ardella Bolton aside for a conference in private. For his own satisfaction, he went over the details of the morning again with them. Bolton answered most of the questions, glancing occasionally at his wife for confirmation, and she, a pretty blonde with large eyes reddened with tears, would nod. She seemed stunned by what was happening. "I just don't understand," she said in a weak voice. "You thought of everything? You're sure?" Sinnott asked. They had. They were certain of it. The Boltons told him a little about themselves. After they were first married, John had run afoul of the law in Florida and had been sentenced to prison. While he was in prison, Ardella obtained a divorce and married again. It was during that second marriage that Mary Jane was born. A short time later, John was paroled, and Ardella divorced her second husband and remarried John, which I knew about this. They moved to Marshfield, and then John was assigned to the Massachusetts parole system. Only a few friends in the neighborhood knew about the intricacies of their married life, Bolton said, and he believed most of the neighbors assumed he was Mary Jane's father. "Have you been in touch with her real father?" Sinnott asked Mrs. Bolton, and said that she had not. Sinnott felt obliged to check out the possibility that the girl's father might have information, and they obtained his name and Florida address. When they'd first arrived on the scene, patrolmen Ryan and Welch had questioned the neighbors about any car that had been seen to stop along Town Way or any strangers, but none of them had seen anything of that nature. Sinnott decided to talk with these neighbors again. Few of them knew the Boltons well, but they confirmed what the Boltons had said, that Mary Jane never stayed out of her backyard. Neither could any of them recall seeing a stranger or a strange car in the vicinity. But Sinnott did learn that very few adults had been up and around that early on New Year's Day. There were some children playing in the street.
So, Jan Michael, what is your problem with me playing something that I want to play? Why is this, what is this crap? This is a very important story. And it's about me, a little bit, my family, my sister, and my sister, my father, me. It's hard to explain everything that happened. And this was very traumatic in my life. And you want to be a pisser by saying, "What is this crap?" You want to be insultive to me? Who are you? What do you think? What's your point of being insultive to me? I thought nothing to say. Come over to YouNow. Don't be a coward.
However, and Sinnott urged their parents to question their youngsters carefully to see if any of them had seen a little girl in a white hood or anything to say about the strangers in the neighborhood. At 4 p.m., the bloodhound from Norwell Barracks arrived with 2 state troopers who were experienced handlers, Barry Sullivan and William Lonergan. By this time, the ranks of the searchers had grown to nearly 300 men. Hundreds of feet had trampled the fields around the house. This is mid-sentence, but I would love to be able to, talk to some of these people, because even though reading this article, it answered a lot of my questions, I still want to know, what was going on through, the police involved and the people helping search involved, what was going on in their head. I would love to, interview these people. So, I was mid-sentence, so... Hundreds of feet had trampled the fields around the house. The beach had been carefully covered, and many of the empty houses checked to see if they were securely locked. The yard and the area of the house were cleared of searchers now, and the dog was given the scent from the dolls and the baby carriage. I need to take a breath. Okay. He moved off across the backyard for 20 feet or so, then stopped and doubled back and started off in another direction. But he pulled up short again and began running around in tight circles. He hasn't got it, Lonergan said. They took the dog back to the baby carriage and gave him the scent again. This time he started off in another direction, but it quickly ended in much the same way. The child probably had been all over the yard while playing, and the officers decided to let the dog go his own way on the chance that he would pick up the path at the end of the yard where the child had crossed out of it. The dog trotted around the yard for the next full hour and worked up and down the edges of the yard, but never gave the appearance of being on a strong scent and showed no inclination to leave the yard. Once or two he trotted out in the front of the house, but each time he came back. The officers knew that the number of searchers who had come through the backyard had made the dog's job a tough one, although on other occasions he had been able to pick up a scent just as much going against him. The men searching the beach, meanwhile, had been offered the services of a local beach buggy club. The club was able to muster more than a dozen... Sorry, I was adjusting myself into a more comfortable position. A dozen vehicles that had set up a patrol of the beaches for a mile in each direction. They drove slowly, crisscrossing the beach from the low-lying dunes to the water's edge, searching for small footprints, a pink blanket, or Mary Jane. By 5 p.m., there was still not a trace or report of the child. Searchers had come from the neighboring towns of Seattle and Plymouth, and by this time there were nearly 500 men. Headquarters had been set up at the town barn, where the searchers were divided up into teams of 20, each with the captain. Keeping the crews in motion, keeping track of the ground they covered, required a good deal of effort. Sinnott considered the 2 square miles surrounding the Bolton house to be the most important. It seemed impossible that a child that age could have managed to go any further if she had wandered off by herself. On the other hand, if a child had been abducted, she could be anywhere. Sinnott got a call through to Florida and spoke to Mary Jane's natural father. The men said he had absolutely no idea of what could have happened to Mary Jane, adding that he would leave for Massachusetts immediately to offer what help he could. Sinnott was disappointed in the bloodhound's failure, but he felt that it was worth trying again with another dog. This time he brought in a dog from a local kennel and put him to work. It was very nearly dark by the time the bloodhound was considered the best chance they had of continued the outdoor search. Many of the men had been working without stopping all afternoon. At 6 p.m., ladies' organizations began touring the area with sandwiches and hot coffee. The local bloodhound did no better than the dog from the state police barracks. And when darkness closed in, Sinnott decided that there wasn't much point in keeping an entire search party on hand. He dismissed most of them, but asked them to return the following morning at 8 and to bring anyone else who could be of assistance. A little more than 100 men left. Sinnott began a second check of the empty summer houses near the Bolton house. They found a few of them unlocked, and some of them could be entered with ease, but in none of them did they find any signs that the child had wandered in. Sinnott kept a record of all the houses checked, and those they entered were marked with a large X. It was 1 a.m. before the searchers finally called a halt for the night. During the day, the search had attracted newspaper reporters and photographers. The page that's on screen is the page that I'm reading right now. and Sinnott made sure they had all the information they needed because he knew that publicity, especially of the girl's description, would work in their favor. Stories appeared in the Sunday morning papers as far north as Boston and resulted in a good many more volunteers. So the guy in the picture on that page is my grandfather. He's my dad's dad. He's involved in the case, basically. The searchers began to assemble the next day at the town barn before 8 a.m. and to form into crews. Sinnott was still satisfied that there was no point in searching a wider area than they had the day before, but he was determined to search every inch of it, including everything that had already been covered. He solicited the help of a helicopter from the Naval Air Station at South Weymouth and a Plymouth County Fire Lookout plane. Both were equipped to keep in radio contact with the headquarters. Sinnott divided the teams into 3 task forces. One was to cover the beaches with orders to probe and dig in the sand, especially where they saw that the sand had been recently disturbed. The second group was to cover the dried marshland and the thick woods back by Route 139. The third group was assigned to tackle the summer houses. Records of the searched houses were to be kept and the houses marked with an X. The only houses that weren't to be entered were those that weren't locked up so tightly that forced entry would be necessary. John and Ardella Bolton had spent a bad night, but Bolton was out with the search party while his wife stayed by the telephone in the company of some of the ladies from the neighborhood. Later that morning, volunteer divers went down in the waters of the Green Bay almost 15 feet deep, and men in the small boats probed the river bottom with grappling hooks. By noon, the search party had swelled up to 800 men. Newspaper reporters could remember nothing like it. Every householder in the area was questioned. Every basement, shed, garage, woodbox, and culvert was searched. The beach was dug up for a length of 2 miles, and for a period of several hours, the airplane and helicopter flew back and forth across the air. Excuse me, I got a little bit of hiccups. Just a little bit. I had a little bit of milk before I came upstairs to record. Oh, shoot. I just ripped the page. God damn it. It's okay. It's okay. So I gotta go to the next page, which is 52, because it stops on one.
Thank you, Tony. Hey, Freddie. Good to see you in there. Say, Trev. Yeah, it's quite a story. It's been something that's been taxing my mind for many, many years. Just I was the witness. I mean, I saw what happened. So yeah, it's been something that's been kind of taxing my mind for lots and lots of years. Well, let's go back to this now.
One page and picks up on another. Baffled. Why does it like start mid-sentence when it did not end mid-sentence? That is confusing. So let me pull this back open here. So Sinnott was baffled. A child doesn't just vanish into thin air, he remarked. By 3 p.m., he came into the conclusion that the child simply hadn't wandered off by herself. The records and maps showed that every inch of ground had been covered at least twice. Nearly every house within 2 miles had been searched, a grand total of 351 unoccupied houses. Only 17 securely locked homes had not been searched, and these only because Sinnott was satisfied that no one had entered them recently. We've done everything we could to satisfy ourselves that the child isn't in the area, he said. As the searchers began to drift away from the area, the people of Marshfield became aware of a change conditioned by fear. Younger children were called into their homes, and in every house that night worried. Parents bolted doors with care and sat down with the children and told them that they should never speak to strangers or accept candy from them. Marshfield is an out-of-the-way place. It isn't on the way to anything. It isn't the kind of town a stranger would pick out. This knowledge opened up the more frightening possibility that whoever was accountable for Mary Jane's disappearance was from Marshfield, someone they all knew. And when it was recalled that the child had disappeared from her own backyard, parents couldn't help but have disturbing thoughts about the safety of their own children. Mary Jane's real father, arrived in Marshfield the next day after driving 31 hours without sleep. He talked with Sinnott at length and offered to help in any way he could. Sinnott told them that they would appreciate his help, but the problem wasn't mustering enough men. The problem was knowing what to do with them. They'd covered all the ground on the first 2 days with great thoroughness. They had publicized the child's disappearance constantly through newspapers, radio, and television. It didn't seem possible that there was anyone within miles who didn't know the child was missing. Yet there had been no tangible leads. Sinnott had been in close contact with the Massachusetts State Police, and they had assisted in preparing a list of men in the area who had records of child molestation. Child molesters usually repeat their crimes, and a well-organized police file can provide names of previous offenders on short notice. With the aid of the state police and the district attorney's office, Sinnott began the tedious job of questioning each potential suspect and alibi. Monday was a work day, and few of the volunteer searchers were on hand, leaving the job to the men from the highway department and the firemen and the police. During the afternoon, Sinnott talked with the Boltons once again. By this time, anxiety had gotten over to despair. But at Sinnott's suggestion, they came down to the police headquarters where they talked to Marshfield officers and state police. Lieutenant Joseph Simmons, attached to the police of Plymouth District, attached to the office of Plymouth District Attorney John R. Wheatley. The officers went over every detail of the story once again, hoping to turn up the lead they needed. Okay, that's weird. I don't like that. Sinnott explained to Bolton the theory that which the police had arrived, that the child had been kidnapped or had been met with foul play. The Boltons found this hard to accept. Bolton asked if the FBI could be brought into the case, and Sinnott explained that he had been in touch with them as soon as it seemed clear that the child was simply not lost.
Joe.
And although the FBI volunteered the use of their crime laboratory facilities,
Spam is repeating the
they
same thing
couldn't
over and
enter
over
the case
again.
until there was definite proof that a federal offense had been committed. Mrs. Bolton was in a state of near collapse when she left the building. That afternoon, the police received an anonymous phone call from a man. The message was simply that Mary Jane Bolton was dead. He hung up before the police could question him or try to trace the call. Every case that receives much publicity produces a certain number of crank calls and letters, and Sinnott decided to write this one off as the first crank of the case. There was nothing he could do about the call, even if it were not a crank. He heard from the second crank on the next day. This one wrote a letter, but it was far more informative. The letter was postmarked Boston, and written in the crude printed letters was, "You'll find her in deep water." Sinnott figured this probably was no more reliable than the phone call, but he couldn't ignore it. Searchers had checked the river and the bay, but both were quite shallow. The only deep water in the area was the old water tank on Sugar Hill and a section of Cat River upstream a mile. There was nothing to do but drain the well and drag Cat River at its deep point. Both operations met with no success. When newspaper reporters who had remained by the Bolton house throughout the long ordeal asked Mrs. Bolton if she had heard about the letter, she nodded tearfully. But Bolton, who stayed by her side, made it clear that they clung to their belief that Mary Jane was still alive. "I just hope whoever has my baby would just leave her somewhere so that I can get her back," Mrs. Bolton said. Oh. Reading that makes me so emotional right now. Like, I'm holding back tears because I've already cried over this article. I'm probably going to cry further into the article. You'll get there. Letter turned out to be the first of 7 mailed from Boston in the same week. They were all anonymous, and they all contained the same cruel message. Sinnott and the state police investigators felt certain the writer was a crank, because someone with real knowledge of the crime wishing to help the police would be more explicit. And it seemed doubtful that someone who is directly responsible would take the risk of sending a letter. That, like the letters and the crank.
Juanito. Juan Ban. I see you. Brother. I really like to know Joe Walsh, Mercury Diaz in YouTube has said he's flagging me for spam. I don't know how this is spam. I'm playing I'm on YouNow. I'm advertising for YouNow, yes. And my link is for YouNow. It's not any different than putting the link if I was doing a StreamYard. Would you rather see me do a StreamYard, Joe? Does that make it more legit to be on YouTube when I'm doing a StreamYard cast as opposed to a YouNow cast? Come to YouNow. Come on, talk to me. But you're just a coward going to hang behind your words there. So let's get back to this story.
Calls I did not hear about. So this was
Hey,
interesting
Bio.
information to me. I need to take a breath because I talk too much without breathing. Okay. Nevertheless, they decided to investigate as thoroughly as they could. The notepaper and
Trixie,
envelope were
what you
sent to
do
the
to
state
me?
police laboratory to see if they could be identified or traced. Both notepaper and envelope, it turned out, were inexpensive and in common use. They could be bought in many places in Boston. And in that week, Captain Sinnott had to admit that his investigation had not brought them one step closer to finding Mary Jane Bolton or explaining her disappearance. By this time, he was convinced that the child had been met with foul play. If it had been a case of kidnapping for money, which would have been unlikely since the Boltons were not wealthy, I was always told that they were wealthy. He knew there would have been word from the kidnapper by this time. The one hope for Mary Jane's safety lay in the possibility that she had been lured away by a childless woman or a
I'm not
childless
bringing
couple
anybody
who
up
were
while this is
desperate enough
playing.
for a child to steal
I guess I
one.
can bring you up for a
The
minute. I'll
possibility,
stop
alas,
this
was
for a
remote,
second and
because the
talk to you.
incidents of
But
violence
I
and
want to go
assault with
back to this
children
quickly, so hold on. Okay.
I just wanted to ask what it was. Where did you find this?
Lori recorded this a couple years ago after she got the magazine.
Oh, I thought it sounded like her.
Yep. And she said, I have the magazine, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. So
She's just
could have
reading
sworn
a
she
news
took it back.
article.
Yeah, she's reading it.
Oh.
And Joe Walsh is in my YouTube, said he's flagging me for spam. And of course, I'm asking him, tell me how this is spam. And he isn't answering me. He's going to hide behind the name and not talk and what have you.
Hey, Queen. Mush, this is Lori, a.k.a. Loretta Bolton. She is reading a news article about his missing mom.
No.
Who's saying again?
Not this. This is the story about my sister.
Oh, the one your dad killed?
Yes.
Oh.
If you want to see the story itself, the YouTube link is in the chat here in YouNow. You can watch Lori's reading of it without the interruptions.
I can't copy that. I'm on my phone.
Well, I'll share it in Discord, I guess, or maybe Lori will or something. She gave me the link. And after this, I have another video I'm going to play too.
Great. What is it?
The new update story
of this.
Of the missing woman. The same story that most people have already seen, but I'm going to tie it into this video.
All right.
So I'll go back to this. I'm going to mute the mic, and if you
bye.
If you want to stay there, you go ahead and stay there. That's up to you. You know.
I forgot my question.
It's far greater than the incidents of happening for that reason. The Boltons apparently clung to some hope of their own. The fear in the neighborhood that someone they all knew could tell them what happened to Mary Jane Bolton persisted. Conversation about the case amongst neighbors invariably ended with an expression of fear. Most mothers balked at letting their small children play outside by themselves, even in the confines of their own yards. But if the fear persisted, so did the sympathy for John and Ardella. Newspaper stories had...
I mean, you didn't see the beginning of this thing because my dad tried to say she ran away. She was 2 years old. Where the hell was she going to go?
This was before Lori hit puberty, huh?
I don't know. This has been the last 3 or 4 years. But anyway, you know.
Informed the neighbors of the fact that John was Mary Jane's stepfather and of his conviction in Florida. But many of his neighbors had known John since he was a boy when he came to Marshfield for the summers. Knowing of his brush with the law in Florida seemed to only deepen the shade of sympathy they had for him. As one neighbor said, he's been through a lot already. For the most part, the Boltons appeared to be completely stunned, but still struggling to balance sorrow against hope. When neighbors dropped by the house, as they did frequently during the first 2 weeks, the young couple were always found sitting together, not saying much. Ardella's face red and swollen from crying. Before Mary Jane disappeared, the entire Bolton family would commute to Boston. John worked as a truck driver for a produce firm, and Ardella worked as a beautician in a Jamaica Plain beauty salon. During the day, the children would be cared for by their grandmother. The first week after the child's disappearance, John returned to work, but he would call the house nearly every hour. It was 2 weeks before Ardella could muster the strength or the will to go back to her job. By the end of the second week, the crank phone calls and the letters from Boston had stopped coming. If the letter writer knew what he was talking about when he said the body was in deep water, police realized that a solution to the case might have to wait until the first stretch of warm weather brought the body to the surface. The strain of the search and the publicity and the anguish and the well-meant sympathy of neighbors and beauty shop customers was beginning to take a heavy toll on Ardella Bolton by the end of the month. She frequently broke down in a fit of weeping, and on Monday, June 31st, 1 month after Mary Jane's disappearance, Ardella Bolton took some time off work and paid a call to the headquarters of the Massachusetts State Police. Okay, breath. This is the tough part. She said she would like to speak to someone about the Mary Jane Bolton case. A few minutes later, she was shown into the office
January
of Captain Daniel
Who's Ardella?
I. Murphy.
That's my mother.
She was closeted with him briefly, and then Lieutenant Detective Michael Calanence was called in too. Ardella Bolton had a story to tell, and like any story that's enveloped in deep, conflicting emotion, she had felt compelled to choose her own time and place to tell it. Her story that day resulted in an emergency call to Chief Senate in Marshfield. I'm getting really hard to breathe right now, like no joke. This was the call for which Senate had been waiting. As soon as he got it, all the mystery of the month-long case appeared in an entirely different light. Marshfield Police Sergeant Robert Frungoli was called into the office, instructed to drive to the state police barracks and pick up Sergeant William Forbush and then head for Boston. They arrived at the Protus terminal in Charlestown at 3:45 p.m. and, flashing their credentials, asked to speak to John Bolton. A few minutes later, the police officers started back to Marshfield with Bolton. To reporters who had followed the case, the activity at the Marshfield police station made it clear that something big was about to break. By the time the Boltons arrived, Lieutenant Simmons, D.A. Wheatley, and Mrs. Bolton were also present. The reporters waited impatiently for word of what was going on, but it wasn't until 30 minutes later that Sinnott told them that an arrest was imminent in the case. He wanted to say,
Nikki! Hello, Nikki!
who the suspect was, but he acknowledged that an unexpected tip had brought things to ahead. But it was patience that broke this case. Sinnott added. The mystery building for a month was slow to unravel. At 11 p.m., Mrs. Bolton left the police station, and Sinnott finally broke the news. John Bolton was arrested this afternoon, he said. At 6:30 p.m., we charged him with the murder of Mary Jane Bolton. His lawyer had been with him. The announcement came as a complete surprise to reporters, and they knew it would be a shock to the town of Marshfield. But Sinnott refused to comment further than just, he'll be arraigned at 9 a.m. in Plymouth District Court, he said. The next morning, Ardella Bolton was already seated in the courtroom when John Bolton was brought in by the Marshfield police officers. Bolton looked tired and haggard, and while he waited for the proceedings to begin, he dabbed at his eyes with a handkerchief and several times tried to attract the attention of his wife. The clerk of the court read the complaint, which presented the first details of what the police believed to have taken place, and alleged that John Bolton did commit assault and battery with intent to kill, and did by said assault kill Mary Jane on or about December 31st in Marshfield. The complaint was filled with surprise. Not the least was the date, which meant that the child was dead on the day before Bolton reported her disappearance to the police. Bolton pleaded not guilty, and after conference between his attorney and Judge Hugh R. Maraghi, he was ordered to be taken to the Bridgewater State Hospital for a period of 35 days for mental observation. Mrs. Bolton was ordered held as a material witness and released on a $500 bail. Later, Wheatley made a point of emphasizing that she was not held on any criminal charges. While Bolton was being arraigned, another drama was unfolding on a narrow one-track road known as Eames Way, 5 miles from Marshfield. There had been a heavy fall of snow in the past week, and although Eames Way is known as Lover's Lane, the snow was untouched. A highway crew was on hand, and a snowplow was brought up to scrape a layer of snow and leaves. Police officers and highway crewmen, carrying picks and spades, followed in clearing the path, probing and poking as they went. The men had only gone a few hundred yards when somebody made the discovery: the frozen body of a small child, naked from the waist down, except for a pink blanket. The head had been severed from the body, but to all appearances, this was caused by the snowplow blade. That afternoon, Chief Sinnott revealed the name of the person who had supplied the information leading to John Bolton's arrest: Idella Bolton. The autopsy was performed that afternoon by Dr. George Curtis of the Harvard School of Legal Medicine and Marshfield medical examiner Dr. Philip E. Leave. But the details of the autopsy finding, according to the doctors and District Attorney Wheatley, were going to be kept secret. I would like to talk to these people if they're even still alive. It was a little later that Idella Bolton told her side of the story that had led to her husband's arrest. She sobbed as she told it, but it was determined that the story be brought to light. John Bolton had Sunday and Friday his days off, and it was on Friday, December 31st, according to the complaint, that Mary Jane was killed. I got home sometime between 8 and 8:30 that night. John told me the baby was in on the bed, and he thought she was dead. I rushed into the room and applied mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on her. I don't know how long I did this. I noticed there were welts on her bottom. I knew she was dead, or I would have called the doctor. I cradled her baby in my arms, and then I got into bed with her all night, and I held her. I'm feeling my grandmother's emotions again, and it's really depressing me, because I know my grandma's here with me. She died a couple years ago, and I know ever since she's been with me, and every time I read this, at this point I get emotional. I got up with her in my arms over and over again and walked around looking at her and crying. Sometime in the early morning hours, I don't know what time it was, but it was many hours later, and it was not yet daybreak, my husband and I left the house. He made me go to hold the baby, and we went up to that place, Eames Way, and he buried her there. When we got back, he told me that we would tell everybody the story that she disappeared out of the yard, and that maybe she was kidnapped. After that, he'd never leave me alone with anyone. He was always shadowing me, and he made sure that he was there when I was talking with anyone. Okay, I'm calmed down. I was building up a lot of emotion there, but I'm
Johnny
calm
B,
now.
did this happen in the house you live in now?
Even when Mary Jane's father came up,
No,
he wouldn't let us
Marshfield.
alone. We were together alone only for 10 minutes. Had I been with him about 20 minutes more, I know I would have told him all about it. Then Bolton let me go back to work. But while I was at work, he would call me on the phone over and over again all day. I vowed right then and there that I was going to go to the police and tell them the whole story, and I did. I told them everything, and I said to them, I can tell you where my baby is. On the following day, Mrs. Bolton said that the body of Mary Jane would be taken to Florida for burial. On Friday, February 5th, Mrs. Bolton was one of the 7 witnesses to appear before a Plymouth County grand jury which listened to the evidence against John Bolton. When all the witnesses had testified, the jury returned an indictment of first-degree murder. Bolton is in jail now, awaiting further action on the charges against him. Obviously, he's not in jail anymore. It's been like 50 years, but that's the article. I'm gonna put it back in its protective plastic casing. So reading that article and having names of like the police officers and the attorneys and the judges and a lot of the people involved makes me like really tempted to contact them. Like, I don't want to seek them out, and I don't want to seek my grandfather out because I know he won't talk to me about it. And that's like it. But I would love to talk to the people that were involved about it. My dad can't tell me much about this other than what he witnessed himself at 4 to 5 years old. And that's like disturbing, okay? That a child witnessed this. I didn't get as emotional this time reading it as I did the first time. The first time I actually like broke down in tears. This time it was like hard for me to breathe. My eyes were welling up in water and like I was having a hard time getting words out, as you can tell. This like story gives me chills and goosebumps, and when I read it, I can definitely tell my grandma's there reading it with me. Like, I believe in ghosts, and I believe that my grandma is like one of the reasons that I bought this magazine, because she wanted me to know what really happened. And she, before she died, she actually had plans to write a book about this. And I wish I had like full knowledge of everything to be able to do it myself. I would love to do like a study or case or like do interviews about this and write a book of my own. She had like journals that she wrote back in the day of this. I'd love to get like my hands on that. I'd love to get my hands on other magazines that have articles about this. Like, apparently there's a Enquirer magazine article with the cover of the magazine being my dad and his dad like walking together. There are like several newspaper articles. Like, if you search Adela Bolton on Google, you'll find a bunch of articles from February of 1966 about this case, and mostly like the court case hearings and everything. It's like a small little paragraph. I would just love to learn more about this, because I know my grandma would want me to write a story about it, like a book about it, because that's what she wanted to do. And I feel like part of her led me to get this magazine, because I had a lot of questions about it and I didn't know the whole story growing up. I only know what I was told. And this answered a lot of questions for me. Like, no joke. This article answered so many questions for me. But I still have, like, more questions that I would love to ask somebody who's involved in the case. Like, a police officer or an investigator. These guys are all probably in their, like, 80s or the hundreds, or probably even dead by now. So I wouldn't even get the chance to, like, ask them. But I would love to do that if I had the chance, you know?
The chief investigator is.
But anyways, guys,
years
that was
ago.
the story.
This Foley, he's passed.
Hope
a
you
long
guys
time
found it
ago.
interesting. I know I did, and that's why I want to share it with you guys, because I like to share things that I find interesting. So, if you like this sort of content and you want me to read more true crime stories or any of the other articles in this magazine, please let me know in the comment section below.
Johnny B,
like this video,
where'd she get the
share it,
magazine?
subscribe. Yeah.
She back like on eBay?
That's the magazine right there, and she found it on eBay. Yes.
Not on eBay.
Or what?
I don't remember
Or
what
Amazon.
website. It was some sort of comic website that John M sent me.
Oh.
And I emailed the seller and I said, there's an article in there about something that happened to my grandma. And I heard about it my whole life, and they gave me it like 50% off. They were selling it, I don't know, 50. They were like $50-$70.
Yeah. I could have sworn I gave it back to you. I know you showed it to me and I gave it back to you. Aunt Shirley had a copy of it. She refused to give it to me. But it might be another cabinet back there or something in my file cabinet that's back that I haven't gotten into in a long time. Some stuff I stick in it so I don't lose it. That's probably where Grandma's little diary is. But I got to get back to it. Oh, I have some outdated drivers. Yes, I haven't installed my NVIDIA update since it downloaded like a week ago. But now there's an update to this story. And I'm going to play that too, because I saved that in the spots of stuff. I actually did a look at my dad's name, and I found this, which is something that we've already talked about, but this has a tie into the story.
A mother of three vanished in the city of
How old is
Boston more
this?
than 40 years ago, and now her sons are still desperately searching for her.
Not tonight, Spider.
Was last
Another
seen
night.
near the old Boston Garden, and tonight's New England's Unsolved. Bob Ward shows us why Dorothy's boyfriend, still lives under a cloud of suspicion, even though he says he had nothing to do with it.
She has been lost since the mid-70s. Dorothy Goroshko, a 40-year-old single mother of three, vanished one June night along with her 1970 Ford Maverick. She was last seen at the old Penalty Box Bar near Boston Garden. Police searched wooded areas and waterways of Boston, but never turned up a single clue to Dorothy's fate. Her disappearance, an unhealed wound for her three boys. Left to raise themselves in the Brighton apartment they shared.
It's a void.
Oh, shoot. Huh?
It's an empty,
I was trying to
empty
say,
place
I was talking and
to
you couldn't hear me.
to not know.
She would not leave us
The kid in the front.
on her own.
Sergeant Detective
I
Bill
spoke
Dugan
with
the
when he
Boston
comes
Police
up,
Cold
Rick.
Case Unit is
Thank you,
leading the
Chad.
renewed push to find Dorothy.
I think she was killed. I think she's dead. Whitey Bulger couldn't stay hidden with all his money. She didn't have 2 nickels to her name.
And Sergeant Detective Dugan tells me he is taking a hard look at the man Dorothy Goroshko was dating when she disappeared.
If something bad happens to a woman, you got to start looking at the people closest to her.
This is the man
There's
Dorothy
my dad
Goroshko
right
was
there.
seeing. John F. Bolton, a convicted...
That's my dad. That picture is from 1971 when he was arrested after he was out on work release, and he was in prison for my sister, and he was he got arrested for something else when he got done with that. There's a lot to go with it.
felon who served time in Florida and Massachusetts.
He was a brutal, mean SOB.
Now, that guy back there, I just spoke with him today, actually. We're both the same age. I was born in March, and he's like October, November, something like that.
SOB.
When Dorothy vanished, John Bolton was serving time for a 1970 armed robbery conviction at MCI Norfolk and was on work release at Medfield State Hospital. Goroshko's sons say their mom would see him during prison furloughs.
He was around when he wasn't in jail.
I took a deeper look into Bolton's record. In 1966, Bolton was arrested for
Yes.
the murder of his then-wife's 2-year-old daughter in Marshfield. Bolton reportedly first told police the child was missing, but within weeks the girl's mother told police John Bolton killed her and buried the body a few miles away. John Bolton was convicted of manslaughter. 9 years after Bolton said the little girl was missing, Dorothy Goroshko disappeared too. All of it enough for Boston police to take another look at Dorothy and John Bolton.
I talked to the boyfriend only a couple of years ago. He denies having any knowledge of what happened.
I posted the
Hey,
other
Jack,
link in
this
the
is
chat
Bob
here,
Ward.
Chad.
I talked to Jack Bolton on the phone. He is 79 years old now and living in Florida.
Bob, I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with Dorothy's disappearance or what happened to her. I had no idea. You know, I wish I did.
The night Dorothy disappeared, witnesses told police they did not see John Bolton. Yet Bolton himself recently told Boston police he was
This was
with
a news
Dorothy
article.
that
This was
night.
broadcast
And
on
after
their
hours
TV.
of drinking, he broke up with her. He told police as he walked home through Roslindale, Dorothy followed in her car, yelling at him, even trying to hit him. He said he got away by running through the Arnold Arboretum.
Do those accounts add up? Do they agree with each other?
That's part of our problem. We don't have enough information.
Dorothy's sons are now left with a lifetime of questions and suspicions. They want more.
If someone knows something and we're hoping to find out what that is, we want to give our Ma a proper burial.
John Bolton was never charged with Dorothy Goroshko's disappearance. If you have any information about what happened to her, contact Boston Police Crime Stoppers at 1-800-494-TIPS. For New England's Unsolved, I'm Bob Ward, Boston 25 News.
Yeah.
Everybody, please welcome our two new
Yeah. I'll go into Discord and leave that right now in safe space, Chad. Okay? For crying out loud.
Just helps you sleep a little better after your long travel.
Miss Harris, you need to take your meds.
I'm not going to take a single pill.
Huh?
Girls, stand up. Turn around. Face the wall. No. I'll take a pill.
Introducing the Ferrero Rocher chocolate bar. Crunchy hazelnuts, smooth chocolate, creamy filling. Make any moment worth celebrating. Ferrero Rocher.
Welcome, baby, to the world of plants with organic Gerber Plantastic. Gerber's first range of plant protein recipes for little ones. Made from yummy beans, grains, and veggies. Make their world plantastic.
I don't feel my age. Why should my skin? With Olay Niacinamide 24, I'm in my best skin yet. Olay Niacinamide 24 gives 10 layers deep to the skin surface. My skin is smooth and strong. And try Olay Retinol 24 for radiant skin overnight.
Crack the science of strong hair. New fruit juice. It's keratin, protein, or biotin in your loaded systems. Up to 72 hours for control, 14 hours definition, or 72 hours of thicker looking hair.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Naturally.
That's good.
I never knew Dorothy. My dad was not married to her. My stepmother, his wife, my sperm donor's wife, she's quite attractive lady. It's been a long time for me. I was 4 years old. It's been 49 or 59 years now. Yeah. So it hit the 60-year anniversary next. Next year. This coming year, it'd be 60 years since it happened. Yeah, I'm all right because I have to be okay, you know. because it's been that long. I kind of have to be. I use it as a crutch for a lot of things for many years about things. And I had to get past that. It took me a lot of a few counseling sessions, some psychiatry, and I've learned to live with it. And it made me a better person, I think. I don't know, because I was able to cope with it. And people like to push me. They don't know where my mind is at.
Once upon a time, before Jill said yes, she learned she had IBS-C and could treat it with Linzess. That's why some things helped, but her constipation and belly pain would often return. Maybe there was another.
It was a lot of mental things on me for lots of years. Lots of years.
Linzess is not a laxative. It helps you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and is proven to help relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating.
Yeah.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2
We just move on and, and try to
especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Stomach area pain and swelling. Could
You
your
know.
story also be about IBS-C? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn how AbbVie and Ironwood could help you save on Linzess. Follow the fearless, the fighters, the game changers, the change makers, the persisters, the resistors.
I used to dance when I was a kid. I can remember when my sister started learning how to walk and stuff in our house in Massachusetts where all this happened. We had a big slab out in front of the fireplace, and me and my sister would dance on that when American Bandstand would come on and Music Time would come on, and we would dance our little boogies, And then after she kind of disappeared in my life because of everything, I didn't dance for a long time afterwards. Not even when I was a teenager, got into school, I was very awkward with dancing and things like this, and was not interested to do it anymore. I finally got to where I could dance again, and then I used to go out on Friday and Saturday nights when I turned old enough to be able to go out and do things legally and had a car of my own and stuff like that. I would go out dancing at the bars and stuff like that. A lot of country dancing. I do a little bit more, the country music scene was a little easier to cozy up to women, females. They love the slow dancing and the rubbing against each other and stuff. So, yeah. Can you see the word on now? No, not quite. This thing is still, it's kind of in the way. Okay. Well, let's do this then. Let's take this down. And I'm going to put this down under here. Oh, that'll block that. I'll just take this can of coffee and do something else with it. Put some hats away. Yeah. It's quite a traumatic thing to deal with to start with, and then having to live with it in my mind all of the years. I've relived the event repeatedly in my dreams, so it's been a nightmare. But I'm still somewhat stable, I guess. I'm going to take my blood pressure because I need to do this at least twice a day, and it's 10:20 at night. 10:26. Okay, let's see what this thing tells me now. Yeah, it's better than it was this morning, but still not where it should be. And I just got through eating, and so everything kind of up when you just get through eating and stuff too. So I'm under supervision of a doctor, so I'll see him not this coming week, but the following week. Not before I make 2 trips to Detroit and 2 trips to Jackson. I take the second trip to Jackson on the day after I see my doctor. And 147 over 90 something, not where it should be. Thank you, Ringo Satire. Thank you, thank you. My blood pressure is not where it should be. I'm on medication for it. It's one of the reasons I don't drink very much anymore, and I watch my caffeine intake. Yeah, it's kind of high, but I've been floating up and down. It's staying at the same spot. It's not getting any worse, but it's not getting any better either. So I'll probably end up having to go to a heart doctor next, and they'll start poking and prodding. And as soon as they start poking and prodding, everything seems to get worse. So I don't know if I want to worry about it or just let nature take its course, and someday I'll go to sleep and that'll be over. I've cut down on my alcohol consumption. I'm reductions in my cigarette smoking. Even cut down on my smoke, my pot smoking. I've been doing more edibles than anything else. Edibles seem to help the most with the pills to kind of help keep me stable. Then just had some blood work done where they checked me for my blood sugar and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what they didn't call me yesterday, so apparently there was no adverse stuff, or the doctor's waiting to talk to me in person about it. I don't know. But we're going to keep working on this with medication and meditation and medication. Not doing anything strenuous these days, per se. People just leave me alone and not geek me up, I'd be really happy. But they don't they got to harass. That's what people enjoy the most. My stomach.
After class, okay? So how you doing? Overall. I know it can be a hard adjustment.
My back is bothering me. It's been a long day. Very full stomach and very tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. Tomorrow is going to be a tough one because I got to get up. She wants to be there at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when they're up. Be there for 2 hours. She wants to be there at the airport at 6 o'clock, and her plane doesn't leave till 7:50 a.m. So it means I got to leave here around 4 o'clock, 3:30 ish to have plenty of time. Trying to get my brother to come in here and be part of this stuff. The only problem I feel about having this stuff going is that the man that produced me to come back and bother me. I'm not doing this to him. I'm doing this for somebody else. Because they say you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, he needs to prove to me he's innocent. And then I'll leave it alone. But that's the way it is. All right, I've done an hour and 12 minutes. Don't really have the people in here for opening up this nice chest. I want to build it a little bit more. Another couple of days. Yeah, that's it, Mush. I'm tired. I want to get off of here. I got food to take care of. No, nothing's wrong. I'm just spent. Watching all that, listening to that story again. I've already read it a dozen times, but hearing my daughter read it, it is quite a emotional drain on me. Like I said, I've dealt with it for 59 years now. And I know why my mom was always upset, because this happened on New Year's, and didn't find her until almost the end of January. Almost a month before my mom finally was able to get away. And
What do you think would be an appropriate consequence for that behavior? No drive-through. And investment. For how long? 3 days. A week. Go. Now.
what is this?
And I'm not going to forget that. I'm sorry. You know, you are a very nasty girl who thinks you're smarter than everybody else. You're not. It's true. That's why you're here. That's why your mom sent you here, because she knows who you are. So I like to hear you say it. I'm a nasty girl and I deserve to be here. I'm a nasty girl and I deserve to be here. I'm a nasty girl and I deserve to be here. Am I being too loud? Am I being too bold? Am I being too aggressive? Erase doubt and anything that doesn't make
That was a lot. Nah, dude, I got 59 years of already as far as I'm going to get with it. I'm getting more and more nervous as the years go by, and then as long as my dad is still alive, I'm probably going to keep these feelings. Is it bad to say I hope someday I'll get the word that he's gone, and then I can breathe a sigh of relief because I don't really know him. I know of him. I know of his actions, what he's accused of. My belief, whether he did it or not, is irrelevant to the situation. But just the fact of I know what I know. And yeah. What have I got in here? Rest in peace, Billy. Well, not much in that I need to keep track of. Well, this is a replay, Jeff, and it's on YouTube also. As soon as I make it public, it'll be on YouTube also. And if you're a subscriber here, you could see the replay here. Danny Wetback, you gonna throw some likes my way? Or you just popping in to smile? No big deal, brother. No big deal, really. Why? I only do it once per contact, Danny. You told me to do it. You told me it was okay to do it, but I only do it once. Just like you call my name. So you call my name, my last name all the time. So I say it one time. Of course, I won't call you stupid anymore. I'll call you crazy. So I don't think you're stupid. You're just a little crazy. You told me I could use it before, Danny. Don't start arguing with me now. Why are you being so mean to me now? I've asked you not to call my last name, but you call my last name all the time. And I know my information is out there. I don't call his last name. I don't yell out his last name or say it in chat. So don't dox him, Chung. Please. Or I'll silence your chat too. I have, but he's asked me not to, so I stopped because that's not in his name. He's Danny from LA. My name is in my profile up here. So it really doesn't matter. About a technicality, it doesn't matter.
I would make them bagel bites sometimes when they're hungry. One time, I went in the kitchen and Kevin followed me. And you're
Now, why are you doing that to me, Danny?
he pulled down my shorts and finished the share.
Why is this all of a sudden a new thing on you?
He pulled down my shorts and he
Why you have to have mod in my Discord is what you're saying? Why is that so important to you? I don't have any rights in any Discord that you control. I'm just a pissant. Somebody offers to give me mod, you say, "No, don't give it to him. He wouldn't. He's not a good mod. You don't blah blah blah." Well, I'm in a mod in a couple other servers, and I don't abuse it. Was somebody's trolling you in my server now? There's hardly nothing been said in my server. Minnie Manson, your video you posted. I don't have no problem with you posting videos.
This is the third time you've refused to participate in group therapy. I'm gonna have to report you misconduct if things don't change.
I don't see anything that's been posted that is a problem. There's nothing been in my chat. Oh, you can't do anything in here other than silence them from chat. You can't ban anybody. I have to ban them. So you can't ban anybody. So you really don't have no. What's a moderator? Okay, big deal. Moderator. Okay. I mean, that's all it is. There's nothing else. A temporary referee. You can't do anything. All you can do is silence somebody from chat. And I've given a warning. No, you didn't get silenced yet, Chung Lee. I asked you not to say things. I gave you a warning, and you haven't repeated what you said. So I'm not going to hassle you. But if you want to go back through and start some more stuff, I will silence you. Plain and simple. Don't go after anybody in my chat. Period. You got it? Are we good now? Are you going to back up? Or do I ban you? Or silence you? The choice is yours. You act right, you won't get silenced. You keep it up, you'll get more than silenced, you'll get banned. And I don't like to do that to anybody. I want everybody to be able to watch the show. So I don't do that. And in my YouTube, Joe Walsh said he's flagging me for spam. You go back and look at the history of my chat. How come my chat all disappeared? There it goes. He says, flagged for spam. I says, tell me how how I'm doing spam. I'm not repeating the same thing over and over again in chat. That's spam. He reports me every night. So he'll get himself in trouble for falsely reporting people.
Ben! I'm just kidding with you, Johnny B. I don't really care.
I only do that other thing once to you. And I don't think you're a stupid wetback. I think you're a crazy wetback, but that's another subject.
I'll stop saying Bolton.
Are you gonna catch up with my kid Tuesday then?
Yeah. Are you gonna PayPal me some gas money so I can go pick her up?
She's got money.
No, she doesn't.
She got her paycheck. She got her cash on her.
All right.
I got to think about me. I got 2 trips to Detroit, which is probably farther than you have to go to the closest airport.
Right.
To take her and pick her up, and this one's like 7:50 in the morning, Monday morning. She got to be there to be on a plane. She wants to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, so she got 2 hours before her flight. And then the layover in Vegas. Do you know anybody in Vegas that could meet up with her in the airport that she might know?
Mm-mm.
We don't know anybody in Vegas in this group, do we?
Nope, I don't think so. Me truck Mike used to live there, but he don't live there anymore.
He's in LA with you.
Right? Danny, did you follow the rainbow? What happens when you follow it? It's a huge loot crate? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm playing solo right now. I'm trying to get better at it, Mush. I was playing Resurgence with Me Truck Mike earlier. I put some clips on Twitter.
So, how much of this video did you watch? How much of the show did you watch?
What video?
Did you missed what I did in the beginning of this?
Yeah, I guess so. Why? What happened?
I played. I posted it in the semi-safe space.
Okay.
The link to.
Oh, by your dad.
The reading of the True Detective story. Lori read all the words, and it's different hearing it, someone else reading it, and when she was feeling mom's emotions and stuff when things was going on, she started crying and things, or she's getting about ready to cry. It sounds it's different to me than, and just hearing the words going through the thing, it's been quite a little emotional roller coaster for me today. And then playing the Mary Grosco, or how do you pronounce her name? And it's Grosco, Groshko, Grosco, that went missing in 1975. I spoke with Rick again today. I've spoke with him twice since this came out, and I also told him about that story. He didn't know that detective story was out, so I sent him a link to my daughter reading it, and she says I have the detective magazine, but I'm sure I gave it back to her. So it's taking off every day, dude.
So follow the rainbow, Mush? All right.
I take this off every day. I don't sleep with it on, Chung Lee. And I don't put it on until I'm going to be on cam and stuff anyways, or I'm going to go out the door. If I'm going to go outside, I got to keep my head warm. It's cold out there. It's colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means it's cold. And if you know metal gets really cold when metal can not freeze but get so cold. And you ever heard the thing about don't stick your tongue on a flagpole?
Oh, I see the rainbow now. Yeah, let me see. Let me grab a car. See what that's about. Okay. Let me grab a car. Why is the car so far away from me?
Doesn't little mystery things like that regenerate for every person, though, Mush?
You have to get that early? Okay.
I don't know who he's talking to, Spam. I saw you in that stream this morning. I got dropped into that stream by being in another room. That's what popped me to. So that something was new. So the gal seemed very nice. She was funny. Anyway. Yeah, the little gal, yeah, the pretty girl with the big guns on her. And was she, yeah, big boned, yeah. She was well endowed.
Who is?
This gal was on a newbie on YouNow earlier today. I am so tired. I just ate a whole bunch of corned beef, and I still got a little bit of cabbage in my bowl. I can't stuff another bite in my mouth. I'm so full. And I've even smoked some, and I've got the munchies where I kind of want it, but my stomach is saying, no, you've had enough. I got to put this big old stock pot in the refrigerator. Don't have the farts yet, Mush. I just ate it. It's not down that far yet. But I can imagine that tomorrow, yeah, I'll probably be pretty good. Baby Star, I see you over in the YouNow YouTube side. Hello out there. Hello, baby. Or Bobby. Excuse me, it's not baby, it's Bobby. Excuse me, my don't have with my glasses. I can't read. Didn't read it that well. Bobby. Excuse me, Bobby Star Enterprise. Bobby Star Enterprise, whoever that is.
That's Noodles.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He drew a picture of Corey. I don't know if you've seen it.
My glasses need to be redone. I'm looking at it and I didn't see that it was an O. I am kind of dyslexic, so I had to look at it closer and I saw it was Bobby instead of baby. I was wondering why there was two B's, and that's when I looked at it again and found out it was Bobby.
So how long is Lori going to be here for?
From Monday, which she arrives till Thursday night when she catches a plane. And then I pick her up at midnight Friday morning.
So she's going to be here for like 5 days?
3.
And she's supposed to kick it with me the whole time?
She's got a Airbnb set up for her 3 days.
Oh, she has an Airbnb. Okay.
Yeah. But it was, maybe you guys get together and have lunch or something, or go through Madame Tussauds with her. She's got tickets for Madame Tussauds and Ripley's Believe It or Not.
How many tickets does she have?
She bought a package deal. She got her ticket does both.
So she has tickets for me too, or do I got to buy my own?
She only has tickets for herself. Didn't know if anybody else was going to go or not. Of course.
I'll go to that. I've always wanted to go there. And they have Elvis there too.
Hoping somebody could do a live in there as they're walking
I
around,
don't
but she
know.
doesn't want to.
I've always wanted to go to Madame Tussauds. Did you just fart, Johnny
there's
B?
a fart. There's a fart, yeah. But I fart all the time anyways, but it's going to be worse when that cabbage hits. Between the cabbage and the red onion and the potato and the carrot and the corned beef and all that entails. Oh, yeah. I haven't been getting any donations myself, Danny, so my donation box is a little thin.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as far as for giving anything to anybody else to help out. Oop, there's another good one. I haven't gotten any donations in a while, so my allocation money is. I mean, I got freaking Billy hitting me up all the time.
Well, you don't have to give him shit.
Can you send me some money? Can you do something for me? I told him, I said, no. I have a massive electric bill. I don't have a lot of money. So it's been this month has been super tough with that huge electric bill, and I didn't even pay all of that. So I'd have some money available. So I've got to pay extra. I'll get a shut off notice and I'll get it caught up. Once I pay the past due, I can let the other one float till I get another shut off notice. I mean, you got to be like 90 days behind before they shut you off. So I'll get it all caught up. I'll split it out in a couple of months.
They're paying my bill. They're paying my gas bill and my light bill in California.
I wish they'd pay my electric bill here in Michigan.
They're doing it because I fall under a certain jurisdiction for COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. I got lucky with that. I need a 2-plate.
Well, it's the first time I've ever had to do this, Chung Lee. I didn't have enough money to pay the whole electric bill and be able to pay other bills that come due afterwards. So the next bill, I'll pay more than that bill to catch up the other one. And if I have real big problems, I can always go and go to DHS and get a little bit of help getting it paid, but I'll get it caught up. No, I'm not going to have move Musa back in. Then I got to drive another nitwit back and forth to work. Because he does not have a license, right? Because it's suspended because he got the DUI.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I'm hoping that Shannon and them never have to come here to stay for a lot of great length of time, because I like me and Cheryl, our time without other people here. The house is calm, other than the dogs barking every once in a while. The house is fairly calm and, easy to deal with. Well, Moose is being smart now. He hasn't been drinking. He got busted for driving on the suspended license, so he's going to have to deal with that too. And yeah. Probably me, Spam. That person is no longer a part of my life, really, Harmar, that you're talking about, that was with me. I mean, we still friends. We see each other once in a while, but not near as close to what we were. And as far as newspapers, there's nobody that delivers newspapers door to door anymore. They're done in the mail. If I was going to get a job delivery, I'd try to become a mailman.
Watching a movie, Miss Forza.
Don't
Argentina,
rebroadcast.
1985.
Don't rebroadcast Safe Space, Danny. I'll have to shut you down. Danny,
What?
don't replay Safe Space.
Your mic was muted in Discord. What are you talking about?
I could hear Juan Bon.
I know, but my mic was muted though.
Or somebody.
Believe me, I would get in trouble. I would get more in trouble than you.
No, I don't need any more hassles with anybody. Leah sent me a message that said I was banned, and I don't know what I'm banned. She didn't tell me what it was about. Says you're banned. Okay, why am I banned?
Oh no, she just did that to everybody as a joke. She DM'd that to everyone this morning.
I'm going to be in Chicago on the 15th. Is the plan now for go to Wrigley Field with Meat Truck. So me and Cheryl are going to have one night accommodation for that we got to get taken care of too. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. He might bring high pitch with him, which, I could care less either way, really. I already did it once. Oh, Doc Ivan. Thank you. Good to see you here, Doc.
Docky Walkie.
Miss Relentless would like to speak with you, Doc. You know who Relentless is? I'm sure.
Everyone knows who she is. She's the one that's going through a midlife crisis, flashing her butt everywhere.
And a cute butt it is.
Johnny B, why do you wearing a? You know what a do-rag's for? It's to keep your waves if you have like you have to have hair first of all.
This just keeps my head warm. This is all it's for.
That's a do-rag though. It's for a hairdo.
But it keeps my head warm.
Hey Johnny, hey Danny.
I can't wear a hat.
Hey,
A
what's
hat
up?
bothers me
Else
when
in
I'm
the
on
chat?
here because,
What do you call it? Johnny?
Yeah.
Claire from New Jersey, Jim. He told me about Relentless. Oh, thank you, Harmar. I appreciate it. He told me about Relentless, but I didn't know who that was.
I
have no idea who this person is.
Well, that's that video.
Must be a
That's that
Kermit
video.
person because
That's that video I play every once in a while of that says "Hump Day, come back to me." Got this girl shaking her ass. You haven't seen that video? When you played it?
I really haven't. Don't show me now.
Why?
Don't show me now. Because everybody's seen it 100 times. And
of course, I also play the Isme Boom. All praise Chad. Chad likes
Trixie
that.
hasn't seen it. I'm sorry. Trixie hasn't seen it. So therefore I'll watch it. I thought everybody had seen it, not me.
Oh Lord.
If that is Jeff M still here. Hello, brother. Long time.
That you don't see her face in this, but you get to see a lot of.
Yeah, who is that? That's Relentless?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn.
Get it, girl.
Get it. Get it.
Oh, shit.
I always dance to this. I like the beat.
Screw you, spooky girl. Yeah. What you gonna do in the house, spooky? Just like bums stay in the slums of LA. By the way,
I'll turn the music up so I don't get flagged in YouTube for the audio. But that's
So,
Miss
so
Relentless.
Johnny, I'm unclear. What exactly does this person want from me?
She'd like to talk to you about some of your pictures you've made.
Oh, Trixie, thank you. I'm not taking on anybody new, John. I'm in the middle of something like really busy right now.
I did.
I
What
already
said
told
I would.
Clara. I didn't have time.
Yeah, I said I would mention it to you, and I've done my part.
You've done your part, and if he comes, and he seemed to be quite satisfied.
I apologize if I'm overstepping any kind of friendship by doing
No,
that.
you're just delivering a message. Besides, Johnny, come on, we're pals.
Well,
You gotta do a lot more than that to
us cue balls stick together. When are you going to get a skull cap like this?
I got some of those around, but I look douchey in them because I don't have a bike anymore.
I don't have a bike either.
Yeah, well,
I got a moped. I got a moped.
I wear them at the
I
beach.
got a real
I wear them at the
speed
beach
demon.
to keep the sun off my dome. That's about it.
Yeah, well, you know.
And if I go swimming in the ocean and I lose it, I don't care because it's just a rag. But
This is more of a skull cap. It's not a wraparound do-rag.
hey, Jeff.
It's a biker's
Oh,
cap.
shit, I miss you.
Like you said, it's a biker's cap.
But
Yeah, that's one of them joke bikes. That's why it says Yamaha.
John, you don't have to say anything to Relentless. Claire already handled that. You don't have to even bother with that.
I just, like I said, I gave my message, and
Okay.
I didn't know if you had to type. Something about taking one of her pictures and have you care how you change it, cleared it up like you did that one with Joni, and what you've done with my my face in
Yeah,
the newest
no, she
backdrop.
wants an idealized like anime picture of herself. She wants like a graphic
Cartoony thing,
novel
yeah,
picture.
or something, yeah.
I
Something.
get what she wants, but I don't have time. Besides, I don't know the girl, and if she's not going to pay, I don't know the girl.
I don't know if she'd pay or
If she
not,
does,
but
it's one of these Kermit people. If that's who she is,
she's one of Wendy fans. She's one of Wendy fans
well,
that was introduced to
that's
Wendy.
nice and everything. But
She's a nice gal. She's fun.
I'm sure you
She's
like
quite comical
her.
at times. Very, very attractive.
That's the most I've seen of her. I've seen her belly and her ass. Now I'm done.
Well, there's one spot where she leans forward and jiggles her jugs too.
If I want boobs, I can look anywhere on the internet, buddy.
I'm you wait until Joni comes on and look at those, right?
I'm good. Doc, spam caller. Doc, can you make Danny a new personality? Spam
Johnny
caller,
B,
I've tried. I've
You're
tried
trying to get
many
a
a year.
He's trying to get brownie points to get in Relentless underwear, panties. Right, Bolton?
No.
Who is?
No.
Johnny B, of course.
Well, he didn't approach me first. Jim did.
Oh, really? Well,
because-
they both are then.
No, Claire approached me, Danny. Claire approached me like 2 days ago. And I told him,
Said I'd love for Doc Ivan to make a sketch of me. Do you have any idea how she could get a hold of him? Get a hold of you.
I don't know her. No, I got nothing against her. I don't know her. But I'm not taking on anybody new. I'm tired.
I appreciate what you have done for me over the
That's
last
different.
4 years.
We're friends. We're friends. We go way
You've done
back.
some good stuff.
There's nothing you can't ask for that I won't deliver. That's different. No. This is somebody new, and I got enough.
I think my profile picture is something you did, that black and white photo, right?
Yeah, it was nice. That one was good. I'm glad you liked
I
it.
need an animated photo of some sort to go in there or something.
Unfortunately,
like
I
I see
don't
some
do
people
that.
do. I like that. Was that Keanu Reeves that Harmeyer uses?
But you have to have Nitro to make that happen or something.
In Discord, yes.
Yeah,
But
I don't know how you get.
In YouNow, you don't.
Do you need that
It could just be
on
a gimmick
YouNow?
of
Do you
some
have to pay for that? Like to use an animation?
In here?
Yeah.
No.
Because he uses it in here.
Yeah, he's used it for a long time, but yeah, I can use it in here. It doesn't cost nothing.
Oh, okay. So I can if I want.
How come it looks like Keanu Reeves?
It is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Trixie. Spam caller wants.
It's how you wish he
Johnny,
looked, Trixie.
Spam caller wants me to ask you about the chest. That's what he wrote in the chat.
Oh yeah. I let the chest sit for a couple of days.
Okay.
And we actually got some amounts in there.
Yeah.
I didn't open it last
I
night
won't give you any more of my money.
or the 90 days.
Hey, what's up, Harmar? What's up,
Overnight.
Trixie? How much money's in there, Johnny B?
Not much money. It's not money. It's
Whatever.
7,726 props in there, or they don't call it props anymore. It's experience points.
Right.
And I don't know how they figure that up to what they give out, because when you see all those little fractions, how many points is worth that? How many is worth that fraction?
I don't know, Johnny.
I don't know the math, because that your skill level, it's harder and harder to go up at a certain point. Because I've got to get, like right now, I've got to get 173.4 experience. And when you're getting experience at 0.001, you're not going very fast.
Well, look, in the last month and a half, they've raised the rates twice to buy bars, so I can be nice to people. And I'm like, they're taking advantage of me. I don't do it anymore. I'm not giving them another dime. Fuck them.
I don't blame you at
Yeah.
all. I've never asked anybody to spend money.
It was fun when I was, like just handing out likes like candy, but now I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, you log into the server every day, don't you? Don't you get those bonus pearls?
Yeah, but pearls are useless.
Are you getting that 14,000?
What?
Pearls?
Nah, I mean, I get like 2,600 each time or something.
Oh, you don't log in every single
Yeah, I
day. You
do.
don't have a bonus
I've
built
logged
up.
in for over 2 years every day.
Every day?
It's on
Wow,
my
you should
phone.
get
When I open up the app, it does it.
You should get better than that, I would think.
Well, I think I have to be over 100 in the level, and I'm like at 98 or something. 97. I don't even know what my level is. It's
98.
98. So I mean, but it takes me. I'm going to look it up now. To get to the next level, it's like 150 to get to the next level, and frankly, the quickest way is to pay for bars and hand them out like candy. You know, get like a triple crown thing, and then they multiply. But I'm not doing that.
Well, you should do a little broadcast once in a while. Of course, you earn the
What am I going
diamonds.
to? I don't have the time.
How many diamonds have you got
John,
now?
every time you see me here, I'm here
I
for
know, I
20
know.
minutes and I'm out. You
I know.
never see me.
I get it. How many diamonds have you earned so far?
I don't know. I don't even know how to calculate that.
You click on the little diamond thing and it tells you how many you got.
I know, but every time I get enough to get 100 bars, I just do it.
Oh, well,
I don't
if
save
you
them.
get a million, you can cash out for
A million. I
$100.
haven't gotten a million. I've been here 2 years. I haven't gotten a million's worth since I've been here.
I'm
Ridiculous.
real close. I'm only 40,000 away from collecting my next $100.
Yeah, but you're on every night, John, and douchebags like me are giving you likes.
Well, but that's the problem. They come on here and people aren't really giving that much likes.
Right.
Or the people come in and like some people come in and say, hey, don't give him any likes, give it to me, give it to the panelists, don't give the host any, and that I make like 12 cents.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I mean, I've got shows where I made like 12 cents. You know, I can go down to my posts. Let's see.
For a long time.
Well, that was somebody else. I missed a 5 million chest by Loverboy back 78 days ago.
So, John, now that the chest is up at 8,500.
I know. Somebody already came in. The first thing they said was open chest.
Well, Trixie's begging for it. She wants to see it open. So is Spam Caller.
And the views are dropping down. We're down to 9, which means there's 8 people in the room plus me.
Well, then everybody should profit really good from
You know,
the
it's
chest.
a small chest and a small crowd.
Did Spam Caller give you all his free likes?
Well, Jeff M hasn't done anything, and Mush hasn't done anything.
Well, Mush is probably not here. He puts it on and he leaves.
No, he's still here because it shows him in the bottom of the list. Just Mush and Jeff are the only two
Since I walked off that show 6 years ago, or 7 years ago now. I haven't done anything. One thing I miss from it is you, though, buddy. Jeff, I really like you. I miss you. I haven't spoken to Jeff in like a year, John. Jeff, why don't you come up so I can say hi to you? Make it worth my while.
We're all the
awesome.
OGs. We're the OGs here.
I know.
You, me, Danny, Jeff.
Danny, right.
You know. We're all the OGs from the original incarnation.
Mush goes back that far.
Danny used to be on there a lot with his mom and
yeah,
the daughter.
Sorry again about your ma, Danny. I know how close you all were. I guess Jeff's not coming up. You can't.
Used to be on with Leilani and stuff.
Oh, Danny left too.
Occasionally, yeah.
Danny's off.
Danny. We've been friends so long. It's hard to believe it's been as long as what it is. You know, already like 8 years.
Well, I go back. I guess. Well, Elisa's original show was in 2016.
We know it was even farther back than that.
Was it?
But yeah, that's about the time I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
2015, somewhere along in there.
Well, since I walked off of it, I haven't really paid attention since.
Because about the time I got in there was after I wrecked my mom's van, and that was at the tail end of 2015.
Wow.
And then, 2016, mom passed away in July. So I was on there for just a few months of 15 anyway. I mean, I'd watched her a little bit, but I didn't try to come
Who's
on and make
Captain
an
Chung?
appearance or anything. Huh?
Who's Captain Chung?
I'm not sure.
Offered me a free boat ride? Spam, I don't know who that is. Well, Trixie, come on.
I mean, look at that mug. Ah.
So far, the only two person in here, Trixie, is you. I miss.
So do you electric razor what you have, or do you blade it?
I'm in there with a Schick triple header, dude. I'm triple blade, quadruple blade, whatever.
I bought myself a new head
Quattro
razor.
or something. I mean,
Have you seen me with the head razor going?
head razor.
Check this out.
Is it
Check
one of
this
those
bad
things you
boy
wear in
out
your
here.
hand? Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, but
Now, this is the
it can't be
Remington
smooth
model.
because it's not a blade.
They have the Remington model.
Yeah,
That's what
Remington
this is.
suck. I tried that. That didn't work.
But there's another one of them
I had a Norelco for a
shave
while.
clubs or something has
Yeah, Chung, do I know you like under another name?
has a version of it out too that cost you 2 payments of $29.95. I bought that Remington at
Yeah,
Walmart.
but John, do you still feel fuzzy after you're done with the fucking thing?
No, there's some areas where there's still a little stubble like.
Yeah, you see, that would drive me. I would still attack that with a blade.
Well,
Chung, I'm sorry,
work
I don't
on
know who you are, buddy.
part of the
I've
trick
got
is
no
this stuff.
memory. The 70s are tough. Oh my God, I won't even use
Part
that
of it's
stuff.
this
That stuff
stuff
makes me
helps you.
break out. I like a blade, brother. I'm in the when I'm in the shower, I hit it with a blade. It takes a minute.
And I can take that in the shower and wet shave or dry shave with it.
Yeah, but if
I
I
put
got
this
to go
stuff on.
over, but John, if I've got to go over spots to like with a blade, then it's not worth it. No, I don't have a boat, buddy. I don't have the free time, unfortunately. I would love to have one, but I don't have the time, and I'm not close enough to water to make it worth my while.
Hey, it says it's flammable until dry. Let's find out. Oh. Squirt, squirt. Woof.
Woof.
I did my corned beef and cabbage today, Doc.
Ugh.
2 great big corned beef briskets.
God,
The second one I bought today was cheaper than the
I
one that
can't
I had
eat
in the
anything
freezer
like
we
that
bought
anymore.
last year.
They kill me.
Huh?
I can't eat that.
But you like it though, don't you?
I did back in the day. I haven't had
I
corned
could
beef and cabbage for 20 years.
I could eat cabbage once a week just by itself.
Cabbage doesn't bother me. Corned beef just sits in me and rots.
Oh, I know.
I feel like a fat asshole. I'm already an asshole. I don't need corned beef to make
It's into the it's down in the working its way down the belly cavity right now, and it's kind of setting like lead weight.
There's all these new names here. I don't know any of these people.
Anyway, the corned beef brisket I had in the refrigerator
or
freezer from last year we didn't get to do because remember Cheryl was in the nursing home, hospital, and stuff at the time.
How's she doing anyway?
Doing just fine right now.
Yeah.
She's in the other room. She's
Yeah,
doing
give her a
good.
hug for me. Been a while.
I will.
Haven't talked
And
to her.
when I took it out to thaw it sat in a while where there was ice in there. So unfortunately, it didn't freeze or burn. You can't really destroy a corned beef.
No, well, it's cured meat.
Then it's wrapped in
that's what makes it so nasty.
Vacuum sealed in a real thick.
Right. I mean,
plastic,
it'll outlive
so,
the goddamn cockroaches, that garbage.
But it's funny, the one I bought today was cheaper than the one we bought last year. Almost $2 a pound cheaper than the one I bought last year. and it was
John,
and
you
it weighed
kill
more.
yourself eating that crap at your age.
This one,
The
one I
worst
bought today
thing
was like
for you.
$15, and the other one
Why
was
don't
like
you just
20.
eat a case of Slim Jims? It's the same thing.
Oh, dude, I could. I've
awful.
tried to do that before. I like the big
Beef jerky.
the big Slim Jims, they're not the thin ones, the big ones, it's like the Sasquatch. They call it
Right.
like the Bigfoot version. It's a bigger
I had
around,
a
about
friend
bigger
who
around
used
as
to
my
make
thumb
deer
instead of my
jerky.
pinky. And I get the old country beef jerky once in a while.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh no, I like them when I'm eating them, Ringo. It's just they don't like
oh
me.
yeah. I would eat them when I was delivering the newspapers. I'd eat like one every day.
Oof. So much
That
bad
was
stuff
my
in
breakfast. That was my breakfast in the morning.
Oof. Johnny, eat some real food. Gonna kill
Well,
you.
I had to have something that was convenient and easy to get something in my stomach.
Understood. Trixie.
Well, yeah, I guess they're made by the Alpo Corporation. I mean,
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if they use the same meat in them. Would I like a trip on the high seas? I don't have the time, brother. I don't have the time. And the whole gay aspect just doesn't appeal.
Oh, come on, Doc. You know better than that.
No, John. If I were gay, I'm sure I could have my targets, my fill. But
time for a tickle
thanks,
party.
Jeff. I hope you're doing well, Jeff. Been way too long, brother. I've been talking to you. It's got to be over a year. I know, Spam. He's waving his dick in my face, and unfortunately for him, I don't go that way. Hey, Queen Mom.
I love you, Doc. You know that I do, bro.
I know. I just say what I think, and then I leave.
Yeah, you're good people. I knew that a long time ago.
I don't know. Captain Spam wants to know if you're cut. That's awfully cute.
He says, Doc, I'd like to see your curves in a wetsuit.
I'm liking some of the new people, man. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm getting some a few people with questionable people there sometimes.
Hey, man. As long as they're funny, they're witty, and they're not a downer, man. I'm all up for that.
Ringo Satire, look at this. I stayed a little bit longer.
Hard, man.
I stayed a little bit longer, and we got a little bit more of a chest. Look at that. Well, thank
That's
you,
awfully
Ringo.
nice of him.
Ringo is the number one contributor tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sheriff Buford T. Cletus or something like that is my highest contributor. Viking is still in the top.
Man.
You're third.
Sheriff is a buddy.
You're in third place there, Doc. With 12,545.
The sheriff knows how to pay back a favor. He's a good guy. Can't find a better character than that cat. He's awesome. Love that guy.
I am so whipped. I 2 big old hunks of the corned beef and about a half a head of cabbage.
Cool.
And I bought 2 more heads of cabbage to put in it.
Well, you got to eat another 5 heads of cabbage to get rid of that corned beef and flush it out of you.
I'm going to be eating that.
John, how's your cholesterol eating that garbage?
All week. I don't know. I just got some blood work done the other day. I should be told here pretty soon what my doctor checks
you've
me
had
for
some
all of
frightening
that.
stuff in the past. I don't know why you do that to yourself. Trixie.
Oh,
Trixie painting a picture that I want to Photoshop.
Probably first thing in the morning. I'll definitely be on there.
I'm telling you. Hey, Lori.
Now you missed it here. I was playing the my daughter read the True Detective magazine that the story about my sister was in.
Really?
So you can check it out on my YouTube site. The replay will be there.
Cool.
Hey, there's Meat Truck Mike is in there.
Yeah.
Says, yo, Doc, I miss you.
Anyway,
Nina
I'm
said,
out the door, brother.
Willie.
I can't stay. I got stuff. I got to finish.
Yes, Lori read
I got to
it,
finish
Jeff.
some work for somebody.
You're going to hang in the back for a little
No,
while
I
and pay
can't.
attention.
I can't. What I'm doing now, I got to
I'm
fully
gonna.
concentrate. Unfortunately.
Well, I'll tell you what, Doc. Since you're here and everybody's here, I've got 11 people. Grab your piece of chess, people.
Oh,
Here
thanks,
it is.
brother. I appreciate it.
There you go.
It's really swell of you.
I didn't even see how much was in there before I clicked send. So
Well, Ringo made it really nice.
close to 10, anyways. Close to 10,000.
Good to see you, Ringo.
8 winners.
There you go.
Mush got the top of the chart.
How does he do that? And he don't even show. All right, my brother.
And the person that donated the most didn't even get in on it.
Who, Ringo?
Yeah, he's not even in the list.
Poor bastard.
Ringo.
All right. Well, I'm out of here. Harmar,
All
always
right.
a pleasure.
There you go.
Mush, take care. Trixie, I love you.
Mush
Long
made
time.
number 1 tonight.
All right,
there you
guys.
go.
Bye.
Be good, Doc. Love you, man.
Later.
Like he wearing the Beatles shirt. Mush got the number 1 on the chart this time. See? The luck of the draw, Mush. You got lucky. Tomorrow, actually, early Monday morning. Now, Mush, you got some props. I expect some likes there. Come on, you and Jeff M. She's leaving tomorrow. Actually, she's leaving Monday morning at 7:50 a.m. Tomorrow is Sunday, yes. She's leaving Monday morning at 7:50 a.m. It was supposed to be earlier. And they changed the flight. And she's going to have a 4-hour layover in Las Vegas. 2 days, yes. Thank you, Mush, for the 30. No. Damn. I know tomorrow is Sunday. She has to go to work tomorrow, and she'll work tomorrow and then come home. And I got to get plenty of rest because I got a long trip. I don't consider the next day until the sun comes up, but she's going to leave Monday at 7:50 in the morning. So yes, it's not tomorrow. And she comes back Friday. She'll be back home Friday. She leaves there Thursday. She comes in on midnight Friday morning. Yes, Jeff, 2 days. I know. Oh. Vegan, thank you for the 50. How are you, vegan? Been a while. Jeff M, are you going to do like a free spin or anything? You're just going to sit there and tell me and correct me that it's not one day, it's 2 days. You just missed the chest, vegan. Vegan, recommend me for partner, will you? Please? I got almost 4 years in this. I don't know when you started, but I've been doing this for 4 years at Halloween. Kermit, Wheezy, where the hell were you? I get the gold cam and I get more gold diamond earnings. Thank you, Wheezy. What's happening, BFF? Yeah. You had to move, huh? Yeah, you think you said something about that a while ago. I gotta tap something down here. I can't do it. I can't do it. What are you doing, baby girl? I can't do it. Hold it. Let's see. I think I can use this to do it. That's better. Take a little bit of the wobble out of it. Your cat is pissed. Why? She doesn't like. The cat doesn't like the move? Yeah, I know. Leave them a couple extra boxes for them to play in. They'll forgive you. It won't take long. They'll get used to the new surroundings. But if you got boxes that you pack stuff up in that you've unpacked, leave them open and just leave them laying around. Set them around in the room in a couple places. And the cat will jump in and out of it. Yeah, I'll bring you up, and then I got to step away a second. I'm not going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
No, don't even. Hey now.
I'll be right back. Ooh.
Wow, what timing! What absolute timing! Hi, Chad BFF. How are you, BFF? Yeah, my cat was. He doesn't like the move. He is very upset with me, but he has twice as many windows to look out of, so I think that will make him happier. He's not allowed outside for quite a while. Hi, Jeff M. So since he's not allowed outside, he's very grumpy, and he found a really good hiding spot, and he's been waking me up at 5 a.m. So it's been a fun couple of nights. I don't know if Chad's allowed outside, but my cat is not allowed outside for at least a month because he kind of loves being outside, but I don't want him to run back to his old stomping. So I'm going to keep him in the house, fluffing it up. The only thing is that he's always gone to the bathroom outside, which is a blessing. Like, he never has made a mistake.
Now you talk about a roughneck right
He
here.
hates litter boxes, and now he has to use the litter box, which is horrible for both of us. Now that is one ugly man, but a cute dog.
All right. This is the baby. This is bitty rat. This is little bit.
Oh.
This is the runt. This is the little one. See how small
Ladies
she
and
is?
gentlemen, one of Johnny B's 17 dogs.
7 dogs.
Oh, sorry, 7 dogs.
This is the runt. This is my baby. This is the little bitty one. Yeah, she's that girl. She's that little girl. This is the one when I go to put her down, she'll growl.
She's a little fat, Johnny B.
Oh yeah,
You
she's
should-
a butterball. She's never had puppies. She's been fixed, so
You give her too many table
she
scraps?
was the last of the puppies. No more. All the girls have been fixed. Ugh.
Chung Lee would like a sub. Johnny B. I've never got one, so if you give him one, I'll be very upset with you. Johnny B, did you have a good St. Patty's Day? I saw
yeah.
you last night on Muds.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's up, man?
Jeff, I saw you on Kleenexes the other day. I was cracking up, dude. You're hilarious.
Oh man, I don't think I ever cammed up with you one-on-one.
Ooh, goddamn!
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so. But anyways, if you've been watching her
broke the
EJ
cap.
stream today,
Yeah, what a weird
I guess
stream,
I gotta
huh?
finish that.
that is crazy, and I'm a little bit worried about her right now.
Yeah, I am too. I have to be honest. Towards the end of the stream, she seemed all happy, and I was confused. But that guy doesn't have her best interests in mind at all.
No.
This is the last of my New Year's booze.
This she's facing IP2 straight in the face right now.
Yeah, I don't know if Florida's going to work out for her. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Florida might have been a bad move on her part, but we will see.
Yeah. Yes, this is not good. I'm worried. I'm actually kind of worried about her right now.
I am too, especially about the apartment thing. Like she can't get an apartment because her last lease was broken, and so they look at that as an eviction, and it's kind of really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, she's screwing her. She's screwing. She's making bad life decisions right now.
Yeah, I hope it works out for her, and she's pretty crafty. But I hope that she distances herself from this guy Rob because he seems like a snake in the grass.
Well, he's IP2.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's facing it right now, and you can see when where when she's in the restaurant, she's starting to realize.
Yeah, that was booze.
Yeah, she's starting to realize that. Maybe I
Admiral
fucked
Nelson
up.
spice rum.
Yeah, I saw that too. Her look of concern in about the middle of the stream, it was like, oh shit. And then when he was filming her on his stream, people were really digging at her. And I was like, dude, this is kind of the first time that she's met that kind of energy in front of us. She's always had a bunch of people catering to her.
Yes.
So that guy seems like he just wants to fuck her, and he'll pretty much do anything to
Somebody
do it.
new in Florida?
Oh, if you didn't see it today, it's probably a must watch because it was very different than many of her other streams.
Yeah, where she almost broke down about halfway through the stream because she realized that
somebody new that she found in Florida though.
It's that Rob guy that met with Barry and her that one time.
Yeah.
What does he live down there?
Yeah, he's the reason she moved out there. He said that he's her investor and he's going to take care of her and buy her hotels for a month and drive her around. And then he took half her audience. He started streaming on IP2 and he was unfiltered pointing his camera at her. And she went from like 500 views to 200 views. And he got the rest of them. And people were just digging on her the whole time. And I thought she was going to be really upset. By the end of the stream, she was laughing and smiling. And I think she likes being treated like shit. I just think she reacts well to being treated.
Well, look at the kind of people she usually ends up with. She seems to find the derelicts of derelicts.
Oh, I don't think it was scripted, Chad.
I mean, the only people she had that was of any kind of normalcy was Danny and Kleenex.
Yeah, Danny and Kleenex were great.
I don't think this doesn't seem to be scripted. I mean,
no, it was premeditated by him. I think he was gonna he set her up and he was gonna do that, but I don't think they scripted this at all.
Yeah, and of course people were chatting in said this is all scripted, but between the two of them,
Jeff hasn't been here for a while, so let me do something here.
Oh, and Jeff's gonna get. Dude, I saw Jeff on Kleenexes. I think it was yesterday. I was laughing my ass off the whole time. Jeff, you're a great panelist. You should panel more often.
There's 420 for you, Jeff.
420 for what?
I give you 420 likes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know shit about this YouNow.
And since you're here, since you're here, Wheezy, and
what's that going to get me? What's that going to get me?
Wow, thank you, Johnny B.
That's my signature. 420 likes.
Wow, I
And
feel
what do
very
I get?
special.
What do I get for
It'll
that?
help you level up. I mean, you've already went up. You are what are you now?
Yeah,
Now
Trixie,
look
that
at
was a
this.
good
You
stream.
are level 21. You might have even went up with what I just gave you. Who knows?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
The higher up you go, the more pearls you get every day when you log in.
But what do
and the
pearls
more
do for
diamonds
you?
you earn when you're broadcasting, you're going to earn diamonds just being on my stream with me.
Okay, that's great, Johnny D. But I
And
just
at
want
a
to
million diamonds, you can cash it out for $100,
A
or you can
million
exchange diamonds for pearls,
diamonds and
or diamonds for bars.
I
Excuse
just
me.
rather talk about Elisa right now.
Oh, I'm giving you some likes for being on the panel.
Oh, I appreciate Johnny D, but I really don't care. But that's
Jeff,
cool.
I'm surprised that you were watching today, Jeff.
Listen, Wheezy, I haven't watched her nonstop since yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, but I go back to the Spreecast days, and
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
and I can't stand what's happening to her. I can't. I think she's just going down the wrong path. And Leaf King and I and her and a bunch of other people said in the beginning said don't. Oh wow, that's cool.
you got Jeff sidetracked.
I lost all my train of thought.
I knew you would.
Who is that? Who's
That's
that?
Relentless.
Is that Relentless?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's Relentless.
No shit.
Yeah, Jeff, I think personally that she caught a taste of IP2 and saw monetarily that it could help her. And I think that's why she quit her job. And I hope I'm wrong, but it's really starting to look like that she's trying to be like a nice Poseidon, which is just going to be a fucking grind the entire time. I think Ice Poseidon got very lucky very early on. And I don't think she's going to 100K a year streaming.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Is that really Relentless?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's Relentless.
Wow.
She's banging.
Yeah, you're right, Weezy. Yeah, that she got caught up with yeah. But yeah, Weezy's. I agree with
Haters, read them and weep. Elisa Jordana, 200 episodes deep on your Spreecast.
Johnny B, you really know how to interrupt the flow of your show.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you're fucking up what our Weezy. But Wheezy, yeah. I mean, she has this goal, right?
Yeah.
That she's going to be, the IP2 queen.
Yeah.
And there's only going to be one.
Today was an inkling that it could go bad.
Yeah. And
I don't think Florida is content. I think that LA was full of completely crazy people, which she could tap into built in already.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the allure of that. But I mean, she could prove me wrong. She could find a bunch of people like that in California. I mean, in Florida, but a lot of people haven't liked these last two streams. They've even been talking about it in Discord, saying that since she's been in Florida, it's not as good.
Yeah. And I mean, from 340, I don't know if you saw on, I posted from 345 to 445.
Oh, I saw that. You were keeping track of how much she was making.
Yeah, it's like $85 an hour.
Before she was making much more.
Yeah. This was like once you first logged on. So I imagine there's probably, it's maybe 100, 200. I imagine 150 to 200, during the prime time, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's pretty good money.
It's great money, man. I mean,
yeah,
no matter what, that's great money.
She has to keep that up. But that's the 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes she only streams, 2-3 hours a day, which is still good money. But to put yourself in a position where now you can no longer rent an apartment easily.
If I could get $85 every night that I came on here for my 1 hour, I would be tickled shitless.
Well, you're on the wrong platform. If you were on YouTube for the past 33 days, you would have had that.
Yeah, but
You
I'm
can't
not
take
joining
super
anything like
chats. Super chats are
IPQ or
where you would
anything
make
like
your
that.
money.
And I give my PayPal and my GoFund or my Venmo and my cash.
Johnny
App
B,
everything
nobody
outside.
sends stuff like that. You know what people do? They send super chats. Even me, I have like 30 people watching me and I can make money sending. Not money, but people want to see themselves on the screen typing. If
I know.
you would have applied your 1,233 days to
I'm not going to have
YouTube,
that thing interrupting me all the time. This IP2 thing and this new chat thing is
not
fairly
that,
new.
Johnny B. We're talking about
But-
that. I don't do that. I just take super chats. I don't have them interrupt
Well,
me.
I've got super chat anyways. I'm not sponsored. I'm not monetized, but I have super chat, and I'm on YouTube right now.
You're missing my point, Johnny B.
I'm on YouTube at the same time.
Right, but you can't even. You're only talking to the people in YouNow. It's
No,
almost
I see
like
everybody that's over there, and I made my comments on it. Meat Truck Mike was over there. I already made a comment on it. Bobby Star Enterprise was on there.
Oh, that's Noodles.
Mercury Diaz was on there and said he was reporting me for.
Shout out to Noodles.
Spam.
Shout out to Meat Truck Mike. But
Tony
fuck
was on
you.
there.
Fuck you to what's his name?
Mercedes
What's that guy's
Diaz,
name?
Joe Walsh said.
Yeah, Joe Walsh.
flag
Fuck you, Joe
or
Walsh.
Spam.
Oh, I like Joe Walsh either. Fuck Joe Walsh.
I asked him, tell me how it's spam, because I'm not repeating the same thing over and over again. That's spam, right?
Johnny B, don't let him get to you. He's a troll.
Yeah, just bust those motherfuckers.
So he's just
ass.
Exactly.
He's blowing a lot of hot air.
Yeah, but I think that you might make $100 every couple months.
No,
It
since
might be
the
time to
beginning of this
switch.
thing, I've already pulled 16 off of it.
That's since the beginning of what thing?
Since the beginning of the Diamond Pay thing.
How is that your 1,200 days?
No, that's about half of it.
So 600 days, you've made $1,600. That's 1,500. That's
Well, not quite half. It's been a little over a year since they started the diamond thing.
so in a year you've made $1,600.
Yeah.
You can make more than that on YouTube, Johnny.
You can do that.
That's a little over $100 a month.
If you sit there and just get in your Chrysler Baron,
good
you
point.
would make
Trixie.
even more than that.
If you did IRL, like Chad just said, I think
I'm
if
not
you did
running.
IRL,
I'm not
you'd
running
kill
the
it.
LeBaron in the winter, Jeff, or else I'd be out.
So
there
many
with it already.
caveats with this, Johnny.
How come you can't run your LeBaron in the winter? Why
It's a convertible.
Well, put the convertible up.
Well, it's still not very warm because it has a canvas.
Turn the heater
roof.
on, bub.
Or let me guess. I guess the heater core went out.
No, the heat works. Everything works in it perfectly. It's got a little bit of an oil leak.
Johnny
and
B,
that's
get
the
a
only problem.
fucking car you could drive in the wintertime, for Christ's sakes. You're a 62-year-old man.
It's got a Michigan historic vehicle plate on it, so I can only drive it a certain amount of miles a year. And I'm not driving it in the snow and the salt and things like that and taking a chance. I'd rather wreck one of my newer cars than my old car.
Don't think like that. What do you mean I'd rather wreck?
Oh yeah, I'd much rather have something happen with my van than that LeBaron.
What do you think?
The van's
because
good.
the van is easy to find parts for. The LeBaron is not.
LeBarons are for the
You
birds.
think your LeBaron is like a historic car?
He thinks it's a classic.
It's almost 30 years old. Next year it'll be 30 years old.
But that doesn't mean it's a classic, Johnny B. That's
I've
how
got
it was
the
in the
historic
70s.
vehicle plate on it for that's good for 10 years.
My God, it's a fucking 1994 or whatever it is.
I mean, no one wants a LeBaron.
There's
He's
a lot
got-
of people that still treasure the LeBarons, and a lot
My
of people
sister's
I've
first
spoke
car
with-
was a LeBaron, and it was a piece of crap. I
Well,
hated it.
You probably had the 4-cylinder model, didn't you?
I don't know. It was my sister's. I didn't drive it.
If it was a 4-cylinder model, that engine was notorious for being junk. They
She liked it
turbocharged.
because it
They
had
put
convertible.
They put a turbocharger on a fucking 4-cylinder and expected it to last.
Hey, I got a turbocharged on my Honda Civic.
Over 26 years old.
I had turbo on my Prius.
Chad, it's got to be over 26 years old.
Listen,
My goodness.
listen. That LeBaron is not going to get you. Are you driving Lori to Chicago in that LeBaron?
I'm going to go to watch the Cubby game with it if the weather is nice enough. If not, I'll drive my van.
Well, how far are you driving? What are you taking to Chicago? Drive Lori in?
Detroit?
The van, right?
I'll probably drive my 08 Town and Country.
Is it going to make it?
Those are
Fuck
good vans,
yeah.
actually. Those are good vans. My mom has one
That's
of
got
those. I
over
think it's a
200.
little
That just
newer.
turned over 200,000 miles just recently.
Those are actually pretty good vans. I used to use it
Doesn't
for
burn a drop of
moving.
oil.
And what is it? It's a what kind of van?
It's an 08 Chrysler Town and Country.
I haven't seen a picture. You got a picture of it?
What color is it, Johnny B?
It's silver.
Can you what at 08? What? And
It's basically the same thing as those Chryslers. Well, the Dodge, the Dodges. I mean,
it's an 08.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Bio.
It's an 08 Dodge van.
It's an 08 Town and Country.
08. Let me look that up. 08 Town.
I gave $2,000 for it a little over a year ago. That's the one that sat
That's
here.
a
I
good
couldn't bleed the
deal.
brakes. Remember, you gave me a hard time about that
Oh
last
yeah,
winter?
yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Because
That's a
it
good
froze
deal,
to the
Johnny.
ground out there, and I couldn't get the brakes bled.
Yeah.
As soon as the weather got nice enough where I could get at it, I bled the brakes. I got it road legal, and I've been driving it ever since. I've
Johnny
already
B,
been
no wonder you crashed your cars.
What kind of engine is that?
3.8 V6.
3.8 V6. Are they any good?
Seems to be. It runs really nice. I just figured out how to turn the traction system off so that I could actually burn rubber with it.
Oh, don't burn rubber in a van, Johnny B. This isn't 1970.
Coming out of my yard once in a while, I get a little huffy.
Gas prices are too high to burn rubber. Stop it. You're wasting too much fuel. Be responsible, Johnny B.
3.8 liter V6.
Oh, the transmission is strong, spam caller. Strong. I'd put that drivetrain in another car if I had another body to put it in if I wanted to. I'd take that out and drop it in something smaller. It'd be fun.
My favorite part about those vans is the back seats. All of them fold into the bottom of the vehicle.
You don't have to take the seats out to clear the deck. You just fold them down.
I love that about those. You got a hell of a deal on it, Johnny B.
Well, he wanted what do you want? Like, I don't remember. I talked him down from the price that he had for it because it needed brakes.
Jeez, that's a cheap fix too.
And he said he'd fix the brakes for me and actually charge me a little bit less.
Johnny B, you know there's a recall on that engine. Do you know that?
I think I've already got all the recalls taken. It's not on the engine, it's on the car. It's the airbag.
Don't drive. It says I'm looking at it here. It says don't drive it.
It was the airbag, and I already got that recall taken care of.
You sure?
Yeah, oh yeah. I took it to the Chrysler dealer and got it taken care of. It's been changed. There's a new airbag in there. It's all that problem, that recall has been taken care of.
The other one says there's a rod problem. I'm seeing 3. You look it up yourself. There's 3 recalls. One of them says a rod problem, connecting rod problem.
Well, I don't know. Drop the link in the chat and I'll look at it. I haven't gotten a notification. I got a letter from that one right after I titled it. I got a letter for it.
Yeah.
And I replaced the airbag. That was the one recall that was a problem that they
connecting rod.
And all that was the emblem in the center of it was the glue. There's something wrong with the glue, and it could actually stick somebody if the airbag went off. You could get penetrated with it.
No, this is connecting rod. There's something wrong with 3.8 liter V6 engine.
Well, don't seem to have any problem with it so far.
How many miles you got on it?
200.
Damn.
Just turned over 200 here not too long ago. In fact, I've got a YouTube video of it when it went over.
You sure gonna get Lori to her destination in that fucking thing? I mean, I'd be worried about it if I was you. I mean, how far have you gone outside of Michigan? How far is Detroit from where you're at?
About 90 minutes one way.
Oh, that's not that. It'll make it that far.
And it's 3 hours to Chicago. 3.8 hours to Chicago.
Is that where she's coming in from?
Well, that's where I'm going on April 15th to watch the Cubbies play at Wrigley Field. And I'm going to have somebody take a picture of me in front of the Wrigley Field sign. That's a familiar scene from the movie The Blues Brothers.
I remember the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. Elwood or whatever that got out of prison.
Jake.
John Belushi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He registered his address
And
as
Rosie
Wrigley
the
Field.
Rosebud maid.
Yeah.
You see Harvey something, whatever, the little guy that in there, the head of the Nazi party, in front of it. We'll find this Jake Blues Jake and Elwood Blues, wherever they are.
Johnny B, how far have you gone outside of your hometown?
I've been to Florida. I've been to New York. I've been to Massachusetts. I've been to South Carolina.
Bro,
I was born in Florida. I lived in Massachusetts.
That makes sense. Now it makes. Thank you so much, Chung Lee. I appreciate you. That makes sense that you were born in Florida. I think that solves a lot of our questions and answers a lot of our questions, Johnny B.
I was born in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, Naval Hospital.
No way, Bio. I made up with Tony. Me and Tony are friends now. Me and Chad are friends now. Everybody that I was fighting with, I'm friends with now. You heard it here first. Peace and love. Peace and love. Sorry to interrupt, Johnny B.
You ever been overseas?
No, never been out of the country.
You
I take it back. I've been to Canada half a dozen times.
You were in the service, right?
I was in Fort Jackson, South
For
Carolina.
6 days until he
More
got...
than 6 days, Wheezy. Come
Oh,
on.
My bad.
About 6 weeks. But still.
It's a little
that was in South Carolina, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
My aunt,
and I was scheduled to go to Fort Benning, Georgia when I got done with
Jackson.
You were in the Air Force, huh, Jeff?
I was in the Air Force, yes.
Yeah,
I heard your stories on Kleenexes.
I was in for 4 years.
I tried.
Wow.
I tried. I wasn't physically.
You didn't have to go to war or anything, did you?
Just wasn't physically built for military. That's all there is to it. Is that quarter rolls up there?
Yeah, Army's better than prison, though, Johnny B. Like Spam said.
Yeah.
I bet you weren't physically fit for prison either.
At the time, Army was better than jail. So.
Oh, Johnny B, you've had a fun life, huh?
Yeah, blessed.
Now your daughter's going to California and LA.
It would have been county jail. It wouldn't have been prison. Spam caller. I got busted for shoplifting. That's why I went to prison.
Well, I think he's saying if you stayed in the Army, you might not have gone to prison for your weed.
And it was about 6 weeks, Trixie. But anyways.
Thank you for your service, Johnny B.
Best showers. Yeah, thanks, Bio. Yeah, right. 14 days in 2 weeks, Dan.
God damn, you're good at math. Quick, too.
7 days per week. 2 weeks makes 14 days.
How many are in a year, Johnny B?
How many weeks in a year?
Yeah.
52.
God damn, you're good.
365, 64.
Stop. At this point, you're showing off, Johnny B. Now you're showing off.
Yeah, I was private.
Private Johnny B at your service. Johnny B, do you ever get the veterans discount when you go anywhere?
At the dispensaries, yes.
Do you tell them you were only in for 6 weeks, or do you leave that part out?
It doesn't matter. I had a DD 214 and was able to put veteran on my license. So.
I think even Bob has one of those.
I don't get any. That
kind of bugs me a little bit.
I don't get any benefits from the military because I wasn't there long enough. But
Jeff had to do 4 years. You did 6 weeks.
My percentage that I get off in the dispensary.
Did you even make it out of boot camp, Johnny B?
Nope.
Okay. I'm not going to shame you because I didn't even go to the Army.
It's not something that I'm really super proud of. General discharge under honorable conditions, yes.
But why? I'm sorry, I was taking a leak.
I wasn't physically.
What happened? Why?
I wasn't physically fit for military service. I didn't weigh enough. I didn't have enough muscle mass, and I injured myself early in basic training and things. And I've been dealing with a lot of stuff ever since. And it just wasn't. I wasn't. At 17, I was.
That's weird. Why didn't you have enough muscle mass? I don't understand.
Well, I only weighed about 135 pounds soaking wet.
That's what I weighed. I weighed that.
Most of my
get him, Jeff.
Most of my muscles were in my legs. I could march till my legs fell off. But when it came to upper body and things like this, I wasn't very good at it.
Johnny B, can you say hi to Meat Truck Mike, please?
Hello, Meat Truck Mike. Jeez.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
But anyhow,
I don't.
after I got out of the Army, I started working on physical me because they told me I could go back in 2 years, and I built myself physically up where I could do 300 push-ups a day, and I was a lot stronger. And then they wouldn't.
Well, why didn't you do that before you went to
when
the
I
Army
tried to
in
go
the first
back.
place? Why didn't you do that before you went to the Army in the first place, Johnny?
Because I was a nerd and avoided all physical activity when I was younger.
I mean, I don't get that.
I did some things when I was younger. I could wrestle. I played baseball.
You could wrestle, but you didn't have enough upper strength to do pull-ups. Something's not adding up.
Johnny B, I didn't do any of that stuff when I was
the stuff that they asked me to do, I was just not able to do.
That's weird.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's weird. All I did,
the discharge says could not meet military standards.
Did not meet military standards. That's weird.
But I got a general discharge under honorable conditions, unfit for military standards.
And they
dissed you.
You're 18 years old at
17.
that time, right? 17.
Show him a picture of yourself, though. You looked like you were 10.
Yeah, the military picture. Yeah, I don't want to dig for it right now.
Yeah, he looked really young, Jeff. Like really young, like a young teen.
I don't get it. I mean,
I don't get it either.
I mean,
now I'll tell you, spam caller. When I was there was a guy that came in there that we could all pretty much tell that he was gay, and he got kind of the sock party and mistreated and stuff. And I watched him jump off the top of the barracks across the clotheslines.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why you left. You were very upset. You were emotionally distraught.
It didn't make me feel too stable about being there. No.
Did you use that as an excuse when you left?
Probably could have, but it wasn't.
Okay. Did you push him, Bio asks? Because he was gay?
No.
I can tell one story when I was in MEPS.
He jumped up. He climbed up to the top of the barracks, and he started yelling at everybody. And of course, the barracks are 2 stories tall, and the clotheslines are like 8 foot off the ground. So he was another 15, 20 feet off the ground when he jumped. And he says, "You guys, look at what you guys did." And he was all bruised and stuff from being the old-fashioned sock party. And he jumped.
Did you beat him with the sock?
No, I was not part of the.
Did they put soap in the sock? Is that what they do?
Yeah, they put a bar of soap or a padlock or something, and they smack him.
Oh,
with
a padlock? That's taking it to the next level.
Did you ever watch? Was it Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Where that one guy goofed up.
One of the best movies of all time.
Where that one guy goofed up and they smacked him with the socks.
Oh yeah,
basically,
that guy was probably one of the best actors.
That's
ever.
Basically what happened to him.
His performance in that movie is fucking incredible. That guy. I mean, god damn, that is such a good fucking movie, Johnny B.
Can I tell one story?
Yeah, let Jeff tell his story. He was actually in the military for a while.
Well, I got to do the range and stuff like that. I did the target practice in the range and stuff, and I was really good with the rifle because I was raised with a rifle, 22 caliber with a scope and stuff. And I went out there on the range and I showed him how to shoot a rifle.
But you weren't in long enough to learn. But can I tell one story along the same lines what Johnny B's talking about?
Yes, please.
I was in MEPS in Baltimore, Maryland. And a bunch of us, they were getting ready to get processed into the military. And they had about 60 dudes in one room, had us all stripped down to our underwear and waiting for the doctor to do a full.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Remember that? Johnny?
Yep. I remember the physical.
Yeah. 60 of us in one room waiting for the doctor. And 60 dudes in fucking just nothing but our underwear.
Oh,
and all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there just looking straight ahead. And all of a sudden, there's this there's shit going on behind me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And this dude in the back started getting a hard on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and all the other dudes started running towards kind of the front of the door. And I started kind of just like, what the hell's going on? and they kicked that dude out.
I bet.
Yeah.
You
It's
cannot
like,
get boners in those situations.
But not back then. You were no. Now
Yeah,
it's don't
like,
ask,
okay,
don't
this
tell,
guy-
and they don't worry
this guy
about
is
it. But
weird. This guy is
I
weird.
love that people ran. Oh my god, a boner! Run.
yeah,
Well, listen, Weezy, that's funny. It's like, the guy beside him was like, "Hey, man, this guy's getting a fucking hard on."
Oh my
and
god.
and it caught on. It's like what the fuck, and everybody's like,
Wow.
that's funny.
Did they literally kick him out of the service?
Yeah. I didn't see that guy. I mean, they must have
boy.
kicked him out or anything because
Wow.
the rest of us got on. Once they Wheezy, they sit there and I mean they at that point when you sign on a dotted line, do you turn yourself over to the government?
Yeah, I really don't know.
You are government property now.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I got in trouble
All those
for
shots
showing
they
up
make you
at
guys
boot
get?
camp.
Yeah, try the vaccines.
I got in trouble for
Yeah.
showing up at boot camp with a bald head
Because they wanted to cut your hair
because I
themselves?
shaved my own head before I went in.
No.
And they said
what-
you could get in trouble for destruction of government property because once
Do you
sign
guys
that
have those
paper-
big? Do you have those scars on your arm from where they shoot that weird shot into your arm?
I had that scar I got as
yeah,
a kid. The one shot on my arm
we-
over here.
Man, they sit there. They send you through this when this back in '82 when I went in, but or 82, yeah. That you sit there and they tell you to put your arms out, arm length, and fucking just run through a line. And
yeah,
and they're
Wow.
they're hitting you both arms.
Oh my
Full of that.
god.
And now
About 6 on each
reason
side.
now, with this COVID shit's going on, it's like, what the hell they finally what the hell they shoot me up with back in them days?
Right.
But with this COVID,
Well, they
I mean,
gave you shots for malaria and everything else
all kinds of shit.
because you didn't know where you're going to be going after boot camp. You had all your shots before you
Yeah.
even got into boot camp.
But you're 18 years old. You didn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But knowing now I wish I would have known then. It's like, what the fuck was that shit they what they shot me up with?
Big boy.
Did you guys get sick or anything afterwards? Or no?
No. You're 18 years old, man. You put that,
That's true.
yeah.
No, you're not getting in my plate up there. You ain't having the cabbage.
It was. I had fun. I for 4 years. I if I had kids, like, yeah, if you want to go in the, I don't know about Army or the Navy and stuff like that, but the Air Force was okay.
I've heard from a lot of people that were in the military that those were the best times of their lives because of the camaraderie and their friends that they made.
I'm still friends with
my cousin was in boot camp the same time I was at the same camp, but we never crossed paths with each other. We were both
kind of
in Fort
intense
Jackson,
that-
South Carolina at the exact same time. He was in one area and I was in another.
It's really intense that people can remain friends for like 40 fucking years after a 4-year experience. Because in the real world, that doesn't really happen. But you guys are struggling together and you're facing hardships together. So it's a bonding
reason what it
experience.
is. It's not so much
Spam caller. I was there about 6 weeks.
Even though you're fighting for your country, I would,
Right.
although I wasn't in wartime or whatever, but it
Right.
comes down to your people you work with. I want to save my brother's life. It comes down to the people you
Yeah.
work with. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
that makes a lot of sense. And you also have that thought of, hey, it can go down. Things can get very dangerous. And I need to
Yeah.
trust these guys around me.
yeah, when I was in, we're doing, they're doing war games and stuff. It's like, I'm not fighting really for my country. I'm fighting for my buddy that's beside of me.
Right.
Yeah, but of course,
42 days, Chad.
But Louise, that's what it of course that all goes out to. Well, I'm fighting for him. I'm
7
fighting for him,
times
I'm
3
fighting
is
for him.
21.
And eventually,
So you double that. 7 times 6 is 42.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I was a
I
big
can't believe
pussy.
anybody doesn't know how many days in a fucking week.
I was smoking weed. I was partying and playing music. The last thing I wanted to do was go in the military. I was a fucking pussy.
Well, yeah, well, we're fighting for you. Whether the veterans are fighting for you to do that.
I know. Yeah, and I have friends that went in and they loved it, and I have friends that went in and they fucking despised it. So I think it's a personality thing. Like if you're built
My
or not.
biggest regret was allowing myself to not be able to stay there. I should have struggled a lot more and done a lot more and tried even harder. But
You got mentally broken, Johnny B. You
didn't
let it
work.
break you.
I was
You let
not
it break you.
physically, mentally, emotionally stable for military service. But 2 years later, when I bulked up and I was doing 50 push-ups before each meal, after each meal, I would wake up in the morning, do 50 push-ups, and then take my shower. I'd do another 50 push-ups before I went to bed. I was doing 300 and 400 push-ups a day. 2 years from then.
So why don't you read?
I did try. They wouldn't let me come back. They had changed something.
Was that because of the bathroom incident?
That was nobody even knew anything about that by then.
Oh, okay.
That was not a drop in the bucket anywhere.
Gotcha.
Oh no, I think that any male or female should do 4 years service and then go on about their lives.
I will open the chest when I'm damn good and ready now, spam caller.
Johnny B, you're getting grumpier by the second.
He's getting pissed off.
I'm getting tired of all these people telling me when to open my fucking chest.
Speaking of chest, Johnny B, did you do your fundraiser yet for your new titties?
No.
I'm still disappointed in you for doing a fundraiser for $800 tits.
But you go through this every night with your spam caller, almost every night. I'm tired of people telling me when to open my chest. Nothing against you personally, spam caller. It just gets to be very annoying.
Wheezy, I'll take back. I think you're probably one of the, looking back. I think you're one of the best co-hosts of current.
Wow, thank you very much.
I mean, that takes a lot because I love Lever.
Oh yeah, he was good. I mean, I remember watching him, and he was really good.
Yeah, but I think looking. It takes me a while to come around, but I think you're
Do I have to change my name in StreamYard?
Thank
when
you,
I come
Jeff.
into
I
your
appreciate
streams,
that.
makes a lot
Wheezy,
coming from me.
and call myself potential co-host.
It does mean a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I really had fun. And the best part about that whole experience was meeting everybody. Like, I didn't know Johnny B before that. I didn't know a lot of you guys. So it was fun.
I say, should I change my name when I come into your shows and call myself potential co-host Johnny B?
That's a great idea. That's how I got the gig.
I know.
I just named myself potential co-host, and the next week she had me up.
Well,
I was going to do a show.
Lever he's an icon as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah, I like him. I follow him on Twitter.
Much, but I know I did offer you my services a while back. So
thank you, Johnny B. Yeah, I'm still considering Charmin, but she has been missing in action.
I haven't heard from her either.
Yeah, what's up?
It's all right, spam caller. You're all right.
I think Charmin kind of found a new community, and people were fucking with her from this community.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed the way some of the people have been doing with like her and things.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a certain kind of like fuck it all mentality to navigate these waters, and I think she took a lot of things.
You have to be very strong to deal with some of the people,
or just not care. I think not caring is easier.
I mean, but then you
strong.
got to deal with people like Corey and stuff that want to start a bunch of stuff. You know,
I think when the swatting and the CP happened, that was the end for her.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, that was almost the end for me too. I didn't do shows for 4 weeks because of the swatting.
Well, I left the server until they said they had the problem cleared up, and then I came back.
I left too, and she was fucking livid at me for leaving.
And
but I'm not going to be somewhere where I'm apt to see that kind of stuff.
Who, Elisa was living at you? Or...
Yeah, she was like really upset that I left, and she felt like I ditched her. But I mean, I saw something that I've never seen in my life, and it was fucking traumatizing. And my immediate reaction was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here! Like this
Well,
is bad."
she called you a pussy.
Yeah, she did do that once too. Yeah, she called me a pussy. We got over that fight pretty quickly.
Yeah,
but
I thought you'd be done with it after that.
yeah, I know. I kind of felt that way for a little while. Actually, believe it or not, Chad helped me a lot during that little moment.
Really, what did Chad say?
Well, Chad had good advice from me, and he was kind of the mediator. I know me and Chad have had a storied history, but
yeah,
he was there for me during that part. And I've said that I think that he was trying to manipulate me in the past, but I don't know that. I don't think he really was. I think he was trying to be the peacemaker. Yeah, I believe you about that, Chad. I know I've said the opposite, but that's just because I was trying to be
Remember these, Jeff?
mean.
No. What do you mean? Why should I remember those?
What are those? All right, good.
The clacker balls, whatever.
Why should I remember that?
It was from our childhood, dude. This is 70s.
No.
When you get it going good, you're supposed to go like this, and you'll go whap, 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 whap. The clackers.
Are those from the 70s, the ones you have?
Yes, they are.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, neither do I.
I can't.
Johnny B, how many possessions would you say you had? Like, how many things do you have? Because I just moved,
thousands,
and I am overwhelmed with the amount of possessions I have, and I don't have anywhere near the amount of possessions you have. Would you say 10, 20,000?
No.
Come on, Johnny B. I see 1,000 things in my view right now. I mean, look at all of the things on your shelf to your left.
There's probably 1,000 record albums in here, so I guess you could probably say 5,000, maybe.
I'd say you got 1,000 cars in your driveway. Just kidding, Johnny B.
Johnny B, I'm getting worried about your weight. You seem like you're packing on the pounds.
I'm close to 300. Yeah,
you're
getting weight this morning.
I saw you get up a little bit earlier. You're really packing on the pounds.
Thank you, Chad.
Johnny B, are you just eating a lot because of the munchies, or not exercising? What do you think?
Not enough exercise. I told Cheryl this last year, but we're going to do it this year. She's going to have to get out. I want to start walking downtown at least once a day and get a little bit of
walking
exercise.
Is great for you.
But listen, Johnny B, I'm kind of, I'm not near what.
I mean, if it's 90 degrees out, I probably won't. But if it's one of those nice days where it's in the 80s,
do you not want to hear what Jeff has to say? You keep talking all over.
Yeah, I kind of know where he's going on it. We're both of the same age, and the weight does pick up on us.
But you got to start getting rid of those LBs. You know what I'm saying, Johnny B?
That's why I want to start doing some walking as soon as the weather allows me this year. I'm probably going to get up in the morning days. If it's days I don't, especially when I don't have to take Lori to work, I'll get up before everybody else is.
You can walk Lori to work.
Minnie, I never did block you, my friend. You're not blocked at all.
Minnie Manson thinks everybody has blocked him.
Yeah, I never blocked you, period, Minnie.
He's told me the same thing.
We had a conversation just the other day. I sent you those, the picture of where your flat run, where your picture is. Minnie Manson magnet. I don't see it on camera, he said, and I had to show him where it's at.
I see it right now.
Yeah. I told you, Minnie, if I had any problems, you would be told by me. Yes, it says, hello, hi, Johnny. Why did you block me? You see my comments. I see your comments.
Does me Truck Mike still run your show or not?
No. You're there. You're there, Minnie. Trust me, brother.
Who's the director of your show now?
Nobody. I take care of it myself.
It's a great question. Great question.
And I walk to the mailbox every day to get my mail, spam caller down the end of the driveway and back.
Gonzo was controlling your show for a while, wasn't he?
No, that was Nobody was really ever controlled. They were just messing with me the most of all. But anyway,
No. A guy,
Danny was trying to be my manager.
yeah, Danny
and Gonzo and stuff, but they wanted things like, dress it up on a certain day, be do my drag thing, and
right.
hillbilly in the hijab and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah.
I loved it back then. Yeah, what happened?
Jeff, you want to hear something crazy?
Am I with Mr. T?
Johnny B, let me talk to Jeff real quick.
I don't know Mr. T, who you're thinking.
Go ahead, Weezy.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so-
I'm answering the YouTube side too. Okay.
Great flow, John. Two shows at the same time. Wonderful flow.
Well, it's the same show. It's just being broadcast on YouTube also.
This is why you need a manager. Meat Truck Mike told him that he would pay him $1,500 a month to put cameras up in his place so he could do a 24-hour stream, not in the bathroom and not in his bedroom. And he said no.
He wanted them everywhere and see everything that goes on, who comes in and out my door and everything else.
That would be awesome.
A lot of my life is nobody's business.
Yeah, that you messed up there.
I think
I don't want you guys to see everybody that walks in my house.
Think all the stuff you could buy.
It's enough that when I do my stream, I'm at the front door of my house. So if anybody comes in while I'm on cam, you're going to see him.
Johnny B, you did that. You can't blame that on us. And
Right.
secondly,
that's
you
the
think
closest
of
you're
all,
going to get to know who comes in and out of my house.
think of all the stuff you could buy with $1,500 extra or $1,500 extra a month.
I
Johnny.
can't.
I mean, you could. That's a lot of money.
That's too much money. I would lose my Social Security, disability, and everything.
You wouldn't claim it, you silly goose. Actually, somebody would turn you in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd pay for that.
Oh my God, I would subscribe to an IRL Johnny B 24/7. I would pay.
I'm going to answer Minnie over here on YouTube. You hear Wheezy and Jeff M.
Johnny B, this is just the worst way to do a show.
It's offensive. This is the same thing as doing the StreamYard.
No, it's not. You interrupt both sides of it so that you can cater to half your audience on one place and half your audience on the other place. It's not. It kills the flow.
People want the stuff on YouTube, so this is the way to do
that
it.
They don't want it on YouNow though.
They're getting both YouNow and YouTube.
I mean,
Johnny B, you do need a manager.
When Gonzo or Danny, when they're managing you, how many people did you have online?
Great question.
Wasn't much different than this.
Really?
I'll mute the mic so you guys can talk, and I talk to them. Well, no, then I can't answer them because I got the mic muted. Excuse me.
Don't listen to what I say, Johnny B.
You know Wheezy from EJ's show from Kermit and Friends, the co-host Wheezy.
Who's he talking to?
He's talking to Minnie.
Oh, Minnie says to tell him I will marry his cat.
Oh, isn't that special? It's better than when he said he would rape my cat. We're making progress. Tell Minnie I'll fuck his vagina.
I don't know why Minnie hasn't came to YouNow and tried the YouNow also, but he's doing everything with a phone, and the app on the phone sucks anyway. You need to do it in a laptop, a Chromebook, something. The Chromebook is browser based, so it works out really good. That way, you get to see the same setup that I have running it the way I run it.
What kind of system you got set up, Johnny B? You got like a Core i7? You got a
this one here is a 8-core AMD Ryzen.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Ryzen 9.
Yeah, that's not good.
5000 series with the GeForce RTX video card. SSD hard drive.
You should have Intel stuff.
Yeah. I've run Intel. My other one's an Intel processor.
Yeah, Intel's
my other one is an i7.
Yeah, Intel's where it's at. Yeah, Core i7.
No.
Huh?
No. AMD is
No.
far more superior.
AMD sucks.
They underrate all their processors. You can overclock an AMD processor damn near twice what it does.
No, you need Intel. Intel's where it's at. You overclock the AMD, you're just asking for trouble.
Welcome to Computer Tech Chat.
I'm telling you, Johnny B.
This is a gamer PC. It's got
gamer.
It's
Yeah,
a
you're
gamer
asking-
laptop.
You're asking for
It's
trouble.
Wi-Fi 6 certified.
Yeah, you're asking for
It's
trouble. with
got
AMD stuff.
it's 100 megahertz run through. It's got what is it? 16
I bet
16
you-
gigs of RAM and
I
8
bet
gig
you-
video card, or is it 8 gigs and a 16 video card? I don't remember exactly which one it was.
DDR4, or what? I'm telling
Those are
you,
giving me
John,
computer-
you need to stick with Intel.
I've run both, and AMD is
No.
AMD. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Intel. Intel is what you need. Intel is what you need.
Asus or AMD is overran them in their clocking potentials and their performance repeatedly.
I bet that thing runs hotter than hell. That AMD
Oh no, it runs pretty cool. I have the fans on all the time on purpose.
Yes,
I never
on purpose. Yeah, if you'd shut them fans off, it'd be hotter.
I've tweaked up the processor speed and I've tweaked up everything, and the fans are on purpose to keep it cooler so that I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, with Intel,
this is already overclocked. It's an 8-core processor. My Intel is a 4-core. That's got a GTX a GeForce GTX video card. This has got a GeForce RTX video card in it. I have an old computer over here that's almost 15 years old. That's an AMD system with an Asus motherboard, and it's running Windows 11.
The only thing that's good is an Asus motherboard. That's the only thing I've heard that's good.
This gamer PC is an Asus gamer PC too.
Asus is good.
It's all Asus.
But
Asus,
AMD is not good.
Oh, come on now, dude.
It's going to give out on you, dude.
I got one that's 15 years old. It hasn't quit yet.
Well, I'm not.
I got an old. I can grab my old. Dell, my big green, heavy green Dell laptop. My first one I used for DJing and some of my live streaming. And I can fire that up, and I bought that.
Was that 486?
That computer is probably is pushing close to 20 years old, and I can fire it up.
At a 486 or something.
What is it? What?
I'm telling. Yeah, but AMD's usually they go out when they get hot. They get hot and they go out.
I don't know. I've never had any kind of problem with mine.
Intel's will just run forever.
Intel's naturally run a little bit hotter. AMD's underclock their processors to keep them cooler, so they've got a lot more overclocking speed.
I'm just saying, man.
I can overclock this one even more. I've went through my little tweaker program that comes with it. It's called what is it called? It's called Armory Crate, and I've went through and tweaked everything up to maximum. And I can't get it to flutter out on me.
Oh no, I have nothing but problems with AMDs.
You know, I've had positives with AMDs.
Most of the world lives on Intel stuff, and it's run and run.
It's not overclocked now, Mush. I took it back to its original settings, but I tested it out a couple of times and I've turned it up. And I used to game. I played Second Life on this, and Second Life is one of them streaming things, always rendering buildings and stuff like that. And it kept up with it very well. Right now, I got a thing that's giving me keeps telling me, you got drivers here to update. I just got my C cleaner came up and says, you got expired drivers. You need to do them. Well, I'm waiting for. I have it waiting in my queue to. Oh, actually, it's going to start doing it now. Probably going to might have to be restarted. Hopefully, it doesn't. But it might have to be restarted.
Well, see, there you go. You got to restart all your shit.
Well, I haven't updated the drivers in a couple of weeks. They give a new driver almost every month for the
that's where
the NVIDIA GeForce. That's the NVIDIA processors doing that. The GeForce. No, it didn't need to have a reboot this time. Cool. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I didn't have to reboot. GeForce Game Ready drivers. Didn't want me to do a reboot. I want to get the new video card, the RTX 490. Yeah. You still there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Make sure I didn't mess with my audio.
Oh, I had to tell you.
It's still not available here in town. Mush, I have been keeping up with it. I like to build more computer than I need, Jeff or Mush. This computer is way more computer than I need to do this broadcasting with. Perfect. My other one, way more than I need to do broadcast with. Perfect. The other one, that was a gamer in its day. It's not anymore. It's already old enough where it's not really much of a gamer anymore. But it's still a good working computer. Because you get more than what you need and it'll last longer. That's all there is to it. I know I should go back to a 486 DX 266 or something, Mush, because all I'm doing is live streaming with it. Get rid of all this expensive stuff and buy myself an old 486 or something, or find something that just barely run Windows 10 or Windows 11. I spent good money to make them last. I spent $800 on another laptop, and I've already had it for 6-7 years. And I bought this one last year with money I saved up in my PayPal account for $1,200. I knew what I was looking for, and I knew what I wanted to get, and I got it. Now, they did change my internet, about 8 months ago, Jeff? If you didn't happen to know that, you can turn on your cam and be on cam with me. You don't have to be uncammed.
I was going to say your internet has gotten better.
Yeah, they took in braided 2 connections. So they doubled my download and my upload.
Who did that?
My phone company.
So you're still kind of on like a, what do they call that?
I'm at
DSL?
20. It's 20 and 2 is what it's set at. I get like 16, 18 download, and I'm getting about 1.8, 1.9 upload. That's twice what I was getting.
1.9 what? Gigabyte?
1.9 meg up.
Megabytes.
And 16 down.
That doesn't make any sense. No.
Okay. It might
No.
gigabytes. It's 1.9 gigabytes up and about 16, 17 down.
No, that can't be right. And that doesn't make any sense. Do a speed test and show me on your screen. Do it right now.
I can't do it when I'm broadcasting. It's going to show shitty.
Well,
because
look,
I've got too much going on.
I'll show you mine, and you show me yours.
That sounds kind of kinky.
I think getting things confused. How many megabytes? Let's go by megabytes. How many megabytes download?
I don't know if it's registered megabytes, gigabytes, what it is, but it's 1.6 megabytes or gigabytes, whichever way it's readed.
Well, that makes all the difference in the world when you say megabytes and gigabytes. That makes all the difference.
Well, I'm on DSL, so it's probably megabytes.
Oh, you're still on DSL?
Yeah, because there's nothing else available right now.
That's terrible. I think the
I doubled my speed 8 months ago from what I was doing,
yeah, it is better.
and it's working way better.
Yes, it is good. It is better.
It used to
But
be
you're
about eight.
still on
Used to be about 800 up,
800 megabytes up, and how much download?
and it was like
It
not
don't,
even.
it don't matter.
It was
It
like
don't,
it was like 800. The low it under a megabyte up, and it was
you're right.
about 7 or 8.
That
It
makes
was
sense.
about 7 or 8 down
Yeah,
megabytes.
okay,
And when they
700
braided the two
megabytes.
connections, married the two connections, it doubled everything.
Okay.
So it set me at 20 and 2, which I get about 16 megabytes download, and about 1.6, 1.7,
All
sometimes
right,
1.8
just
on the
real quick,
upload side.
just real quick, just open up another tab.
You're gonna fucking argue with me about it anyways. You always know better than I do.
No. I mean, just open up another tab. Just do speedtest.net and just see what your speed is. You know, it's no big deal. You know, and just with all the stuff running. I'm just curious.
See if I can see the speed test that's on
A
Frontier.
lot of other people are wondering themselves. You know, but it's no big deal.
Oh Lord, something's not right here.
I'm on Google.
Why is it not wanting to log into my Frontier?
I got Google Fiber, man. It my stuff is lightning quick. But you're in some rural place that you know.
Jesus Christ, you can't do it one way. You got to do it another way. Oh, they got 5G now. I got to get a. Well, that's if you're doing the wireless connection.
Well, just open up a tab, Johnny B, and just.
I'm just looking to find the.
It's not that difficult.
The speed check.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
Well, there was a spot on the website where I can do a speed test, and I'm trying to find the speed test thing.
Oh, I think we lost him.